And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot happening all over the internets, all over television, all over everywhere. Shout out to all the NBA basketball players that make more sense than the so-called doctors that go on the television every day. Shout out to Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Isaac, Bradley Beal, and Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors, who said that he would not pressure his teammate, Andrew Wiggins, to go out there and get the shot because of a personal medical decision. It's his choice. It'd be the equivalent of him saying, how dare you leave to go check on your wife while she's going in labor, right? Same thing to me. We'll talk about that also. This anti-Ron Desantis ad that backfired big time. I'm not sure who the marketing genius was behind this ad, but it was terrible. Like, they're trying to make him be some kind of terrible guy, some kind of villain, some kind of bad guy. But when I saw that ad, I was like, hey, that's the kind of place I want to go. Shout out to Florida. We'll talk about that also. You got a trans former weightlifter that identifies as a woman, although they were born as a man, who has become the sports woman of the year. How do you become a sports woman of the year when you are a biological XY male? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best audience. Thank y'all for being here. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy what you've heard thus far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Apple iTunes, of course. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite channel and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And what else we got going on? There's a whole lot happening. Oh, of course, shout out to my sponsors. Thank y'all for going to the merch store and purchasing some merchandise over on ablmerch.com. I'll put that on the screen before you right quick, just so you can kind of see where we are. There we go. ablmerch.com. We got everything for everybody. Yes, that's me right there in the 1776 set in the black one. And then we have, more patriotic stuff. We got mugs. We got a little bit of everything. So we still got a few more of these right here. We got 5 of those left. So get them while they're getting is good. Also, thank y'all who bought the Rihanna shirt. Those are flying like hotcakes. So think while it's still legal, those are available on the store in all sizes, whether you're extra small, extra big, whatever you got, it's fine. We got one for you. Again, that is ablmerch.com. Use promo code PATRIOTS to get 20% off your next order. Again, ablmerch.com. Also, shout out to my other website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. All my articles are for the videos, and they have sources. So if I ever say something like CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says that the vax cannot stop transmission, meaning spreading or catching, if I say something like that, I'll always back it up. Again, anthonyblogan.com. They also have all my email, my snail mail, all that good stuff right there on the site. And what else we got going on? Shout out to patriotpost.us, a great source of news and information. And I'll place them on the screen as well. But yeah, great source, news information. They got all kind of memes and everything right there. Like, it's a meme right here. Oh, and also they've been on 25 years. Defending liberty, yes, they have. But this meme right here says, Green New Pig, Democrats $3.5 trillion socialist spending spree, and it costs nothing. Exactly, that's what they say. They say it costs $0. It costs a little bit more than $0. So patriotpost.us, that's right here. Also in the description box below, check them out. Also, bhedesigns.com for these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. Check them out. And also, Mr. Hold on. I want to say, okay, Mr.1920.com for some beautiful handmade American soaps. That's right, soaps. Those will be in the box. So check them out. Did I get everybody on my sponsors? I think I did. Thank y'all for sponsoring the sponsors, visiting them, clicking them, doing whatever you do. I appreciate y'all for that. Now, where do we begin? We got a whole lot going on tonight, a whole lot happening. I think I'm going to start with the Transformer weightlifter. Now, remember I did a story about, who was that? Laurel Hubbard out of New Zealand. Now, this person is a biological XY male. They became transgender and identify as a woman at the age of 35. But prior to age 35, all throughout their adult years, they had been trying to become a professional weightlifter. And the success rate was next to zero. It wasn't really very good. So they didn't have a whole lot going on. It just was kind of like, no success, just kind of whatever. But then magically at age 35, what happens? They're tearing through the league. They're tearing the Samoan women up. You know how the Samoan women, they're pretty hefty. Tearing the Samoan women up, tearing everybody up, all the young ladies up because XY advantage, right? If you are born as an XY male, you're going to have the advantage over XX females. But anyway, you go from being nothing to now you're going to the Olympics. And he won an award from this university. And I don't want to say it wrong. I know somebody corrected me in the comments. Otago University. That's in New Zealand. So apparently Laurel Hubbard went to this university and they got this award for Sportswoman of the Year. This award has been around for 113 years, apparently. 113 years this award has been around, and I presume this would be the first transgender person that wins the award. Now, the funny part about this is that when Laurel Hubbard went to the Olympics, they didn't perform very well. I'm talking about they could not actually perform a lift. Laurel Hubbard did not qualify at all, let alone win a medal. So my thing is, okay, if you go to the Olympics and just straight lay an egg, no pun intended, but that's a different story. If you straight lay an egg and don't perform very well during the Olympics, the question is, what's really going on? How are you able to get this award for not winning, for not succeeding, for not even getting any kind of medal, for not performing a lift? It's because of the identity issue. And I think this is part of the reason why people are drawn to this type of thing. They're drawn to it because they feel like without it, they don't have anything. They don't have any kind of identity to hang their hat on. Without being this transformer in the Olympics, on an international stage, they're just whatever the person's name was before. I don't know, Larry, Lawrence, whatever. You're just Lawrence. You're just a regular Joe Schmo, not competing very well in New Zealand, losing to all the guys for 15, 20 years of your life. You're just that. You're just not really anybody. But then when you become transgender, things open up. Now, I'm not trying to say that he didn't feel like he was different and he wanted to change. I'm not saying that. However, there is an incentive there, most certainly. There's most certainly an incentive. If you are losing, you're not performing very well, and someone says, hey, you know what? You can perform much better. You can be who you want it to be, but it can't be over with these guys. You got to go and do something else. It's kind of tempting. I said it in my video about Juwanna Mann, right? Remember that movie with Miguel Nunez and Vivica Fox? And I think, what was it? Tommy Davidson, he was in the movie as well. Juwanna Mann, he was a pro basketball player, a male basketball player, tearing them up. He was good, but he was a menace off the court. He was doing all types of wild stuff, all kind of crazy parties and just ridiculousness. So the league finally got sick of him and they cut him. It's like, okay, you got to go. It's a wrap. No more money. So as the lifestyle goes away, all the girls go away, all the jewelry go away, everything goes away. It's like, wait a minute. How can I still play basketball, but nobody knows it's me? Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here and play against the women. I'm going to be Jordan over here with the women. I'm going to do 360 dunks and all types of crazy finger rolls. I'm going to be I'm gonna be Iceman Gervin. I'm gonna be Jordan. I'm gonna be LeBron James. All of that over there with the women. I thought it was just a movie back in the day, that it was kind of silly. But here we are. Here we are in 2021, and life is imitating art. Life has become art to a certain extent. So yeah, Laurel Hubbard should not get this award. They should not have that place in the Olympics at all. And I think that people feel cheated. I was reading about Laurel Hubbard, and I think the Samoan prime minister said, hey, that award that this person won, I'm not sure if it was from the university or what, but whatever award they won, it might have been a medal at a certain point, belongs to the Samoan woman that lost, to the Samoan woman that came in second to him whenever he came in first. I'm not sure if it was, again, for this particular award from the university or for some kind of medal previously, but when he was winning before he went to the Olympics, right? And that's just the reality. Shout out to the Samoan prime minister for keeping it all the way real. That's just reality. It's not fair. Again, if you feel like you feel, then I have no problem with you. Maybe there should be one league just for them so they can, compete amongst each other and then see who is the best, whatever kind of pronouns they got. No pronoun league, NPL. How about that? And have that be that. That's probably the way it should be. 1000%. Yeah, I thought it was a movie too, Mr. Just Because. Idiocracy. I thought it was a movie, but here we are. We're living it right now, 2021. It's real. So, yeah, and I'm not sure about Osaka University. I guess I feel like academia has pretty much swept over all these universities, all these colleges. It's pretty much taken over to a certain extent. If you have some of the more Christian schools, they are still pretty decent and not too ridiculous. But some of them aren't. Some of them aren't decent anymore, and they produce ridiculous results similar to this. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's still sane out there, and shout out to all the sane professors and whatnot, insane schools out there that will not allow this to happen on their watch. Right? It's two genders, male and female. Whatever you want to call yourself, you can call yourself whatever. You can call yourself a dresser, a cell phone, a bottle cap, the moon, the stars, a glass of water, whatever you want to call yourself, that's fine. But at the end of the day, reality is reality, and that really can't be changed at all. It can't be changed at all. Right? All right. So what else we got going on? Oh, and thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're listening to me on your favorite audio streaming platform, give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I'd appreciate that as well. And what else we got going on? Oh, shout out to my main man, Burgess Owens. Burgess Owens is a black conservative lawmaker out of Utah. He is a House rep. And I remember when he was running for office, and I thought he would do a very good job out there. And I think he makes a lot of good points. And there was a hearing about making marijuana legal. And I think Jerry Nadler had the argument of, well, we need to make marijuana legal because if we do, then what happens is we can start to develop these grants. And these grants, they can be used to fund some programs in the urban inner city, in the ghetto, right, in low income communities. So that was the whole reason behind, legalizing marijuana. We can fund these programs, these grants, whatever, through tax money that we get from the marijuana. And Burgess Owens said, hey, we don't need any more money from the federales. That's not what we need. What we need are more fathers in the household. That's the actual problem, not this thing with the grant money or whatever, because the federales being involved in a lot of these low-income areas is part of the problem. They subsidize failure, right? The welfare state, there's no sense in expanding the welfare state when we know that it doesn't do what it is supposed to do, right? The welfare state, you got all kind of EBT, WIC, TANF. Go to your local grocery store. Go to anywhere like first of the month. Go, just go somewhere where they serve where they sell things that can be purchased with EBT cards, with any kind of welfare benefits. It's packed from the window to the wall. I used to always avoid the grocery store on the first of the month, and I still kind of do. But then when I'm out there on the first, I'm like, man, this is a bad idea to come out here right now. If you're going to expand that, how are you going to get prosperity? How are you going to get anything beyond what you've gotten, which thus far has been failure? So, yeah, when he says we don't need the federales to be more into these low-income areas with more money, more handouts, more of the welfare state, he makes sense. 1,000%. Now, I think Sheila Jackson Lee was there. She was in the background screeching, trying to get him to shut up. I reject what you're saying, all this, that, and the third. Trying to attack him, not physically attack him, but just trying to verbally attack him while he's at the hearing talking about the situation. But what he said was right. I mean, not 100% correct as far as the statistic, but correct nonetheless as far as the sentiment, and I'll explain. What you have, like 75% of black children, at least, born outside of wedlock. I think Burgess Owens said 75% of fathers abandon their household. That's not really, that's not, you can't abandon a household that you were never part of to begin with. You understand? If you have unmarried people just making babies at a 75% rate, I mean, at a certain point, that's both people's responsibility. It takes two to tango. It ain't just the daddy saying, okay, I don't want to do this. It's the mama, meeting some dude from the club, having the baby, and then doing that 4 or 5 times over. That's the actual problem right there. And these children, they grow up like weeds. And like I said it before, you have a garden where it's tended to, is water and everything's all good, is good money. That's going on. But then you have the weeds that may invade it. And they just grow. Nobody cares about the weeds. Nobody wants the weeds there. It just kind of happened, right? So the kids in these urban inner city areas grow like the weeds grow. You don't want that. You want them to grow like the flowers, tended to and cared for. But unfortunately, that's not happening. So what he was talking about, the point he was trying to zero in on is 100% correct about the family just being a total mess. And that's not only among the blacks, that's among everybody in the U.S. I mean, I'm seeing the single parent household rate jump up across the board among whites, Hispanics, everybody is jumping up. And, kids just kind of being wayward, not being raised or not being raised properly. Like a prime example of kids not being raised properly and the federales not having a place to try and fix it. If anything, they could just back off. That'll help. But anyway, a prime example of how these kids are not being raised properly is when you see the Antifa Mug Shots. Okay, everybody's pretty much white or some kind of non-black, but mostly white. But you see in basically faces of meth. You ever seen a documentary back in the day? It was like a bunch of videos on YouTube where you would see the progression of someone when they first get arrested until the end of that, like their last arrest or the most recent arrest. And you would see their face gradually just decline, totally decline. You go from 21 years old to complete zombie in 2 years because of the drugs. When you see the Antifa photos, you see hordes of these people that look just like that. Matter of fact, can we find something right quick? Let me pull it up right fast. Because I think this here is, matter of fact, hold on. Yeah, Antifa Mug Shots. Let's do it that way. So these are the kind of individuals who we are dealing with. And I promise this is just like, is it meth? Is it social justice? What is it? But we're dealing with stuff like this, right? We're dealing with these guys and girls. These people, a lot of them, you could tell there's all kinds of problems. I'm seeing obvious signs of drug use. Like a man right here. I don't know if that's just a little mark from being in the scuffle or what. Right there, I'm seeing some stuff. I'm seeing some people on drugs that call themselves Antifa. These are the people that are out there screeching on the highway, talking about Black Lives Matter, all this, that, and the third. That's them. This is those people right there, right? So And I think the point is that the federales giving out more money to so-called low-income communities is not going to fix this. This right here, you got to get down to the core of what's causing it. Drug problems, bad parents, welfare state incentivizing a lack of parents. That's the issue. So what he said was correct. And people like Sheila Jackson Lee, Jerry Nadler, all these people talking about, oh, we're going to legalize weed and we're going to tax it. Taxing the rich is not going to help the problem, right? You could do that all you want to. You could tax everybody to 1,000%, but the money is not going to help the problem. You got to get down to the core, right? Have you guys seen, speaking about taxing the rich, I may have already said it before, but they're trying to go into your bank account and they're trying to see every transaction of like $600, pardon me. They're trying to see all of your transactions of $500-$600 or more. But before, I think the limit was like $20,000 on some of these payment processors, but now it's $600. So taxing the rich is taxing you. They're taxing you. And if they tax the rich successfully, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that you're going to feel it. So let's say Walmart, Target, Amazon, whatnot, they get taxed to the ultimate. They get taxed ridiculously. All they're going to do is raise prices. So all that happens is you pay more. They may raise wages. They may raise some of your government benefits, but they're also going to raise prices. So it's a lateral move. All you did was just create inflation with no benefit. If you're going to create inflation, at least let there be more buying power to a certain extent. But that's not even going to be there. You may even have less buying power because of the rampant just run up on the inflation. Shout out to Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema for not voting for this bill of what, 3.5 or $5.5 trillion. I mean, they keep spending all this money like it's just for no reason. We shouldn't spend any money. And I like what Joe Manchin said. He said, well, I'm trying to meet you in the middle. You saying 3.5. I really want to say 0, but let's settle it at 1.5. How about that? 1.5 trillion is still too much, but it's better than 3.5 trillion. People don't really understand sometimes how much money that is. And I think a lot of people, even in government, don't really understand. I heard Joe Biden say billionaires and trillionaires one day. It's like, sir, are there any trillionaires? How many guys do you know have $1 trillion? You may as well say quintillionaires or something like that. No one person has anywhere near that much money. I mean, Bill Gates, what's Bill Gates' net worth? And that's going to be kind of tricky. Bill Gates' net worth is $128 billion. Okay. Jeff Bezos, $191 billion. $5 trillion, $5.5 trillion, 3.5. I mean, come on. So just looking at Bill Gates, let's round him down to 100 billion just for math's sake. You're talking about the top richest guy in the world, or like right in the top 5 or top 3, Bill Gates, right? That's not even like liquid cash he has in his pocket. That's just his worth, right? He doesn't have $128 billion in the bank he can just access right now. He does not have that in the Wells Fargo account. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just say you take 10 people that have as much as Bill Gates at 100 billion apiece. 10 of him would be 1 trillion. 10 of him. 10 Microsoft. 10 Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. 10 Xbox. 10 of those. It's just not a real thing. But people don't really get that. They just see, oh, if you're rich, you got it, right? You got plenty of money. Let me get that money. All that's going to happen is that your everyday goods and services are going to skyrocket in price. Period. That's all that's going to happen. But hey, I guess it's fine, right? Tax the rich. It's silly. All that's going to happen is that we're going to get taxed to pay for taxing the rich. Meanwhile, if you're in Congress, you get a pay raise because you know inflation is coming. You know it's going to be inflated. You got to pay for your DC area rent, your mortgage or whatever. You got to pay for that. So we're going to raise our pay, but give you inflation and not give you an inflation increase in your money. There was a time recently talking about the minimum wage being too low. It's got to be $15 an hour, bare minimum, all this, that, and the third. Now I'm seeing jobs offering 15-year-olds $15 an hour, and they're going unfulfilled. You can be 15, no experience, walk in, get a job, $15 an hour right now. Not even getting filled. Sign-in bonuses. I saw somewhere they're talking about, they were talking about, what did they say? They said, you can get an iPhone for signing on to work at McDonald's, an iPhone. I'm not sure which one it was. It probably wasn't the brand new thing. I doubt that it was that. But an iPhone nonetheless, that's what it was. So, I mean, what's going on? The jobs are going unfulfilled. So this whole wage increase is really irrelevant if it's kind of a lateral thing. If you're raising the cost of goods and services, you just flooding the market, all this kind of fake money, all this cheap money, you just flooding it. All that's going to happen is you're going to get more and more of the inflation. And shout out to my main man, lead attorney. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. Hey, you have great content, a great channel. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm seeing your rise right now. You're going to be at 100,000 in no time. You have a meteoric rise. See, when I was rising up to get to 100,000, it was kind of a slow. I had little spurts here and there, but you're going to be there instantly. Matter of fact, you might be there right now. I don't even know it. So shout out to the lead attorney for that. I appreciate you for the super chat, 100%. And if you're not subscribed to the lead attorney, go ahead and do that right now. You know, check him out. See what his content is all about. A lot of legal stuff, a lot of things that are in the space, in the sphere. So yeah, shout out to him. But we got a whole lot going on. Oh, shout out to whoever the marketing company was that made this anti-Ron Desantis ad. What in the world is going on? Now, check it out. So Ron DeSantis, we all know, is the best governor. I'm not sure who you guys think is the best governor, but to me, it's Ron DeSantis. I mean, I like Brian Kemp. I know a lot of you guys may not like Brian Kemp, but I like Brian Kemp. Quiet as kept. Is he perfect? Of course not. But who is perfect? Find me perfection. I find you, Jesus Christ. But I like Brian Kemp. I like my governor in Tennessee, Bill Lee. I like Greg Abbott out there in Texas. It's a few guys and girls that I like as governors in the USA. But the best governor is Ron DeSantis. And everybody knows, it don't matter if you left, right, whatever, everybody knows that he's going to run. Like, matter of fact, let me just back up. I'm not saying he will become president or that he'll run for president. I'm saying that if he ran for president, he would have a good chance of being able to win. Real good chance. And if he runs again for governor, it's a shoe-in. It's a shoe-in. It was kind of close the first time when we had your man Andrew Gillum, you know, getting high with the boys in the room, but I won't go down that road, so I digress. The whole point is that it was close. But if he runs again in Florida, who would be able to dethrone him? Who would be able to come in and say, okay, I want to be the governor? Andrew Gillum? I think not. You know what? I want honest governors. I want guys to keep it all the way real. And if you if you got a whole double life going on, you're not who I want to be the governor. And you're a Democrat? No, thank you. I'm good on that. Who's going to vote for anybody beyond Ron DeSantis? The guys from New York City, a lot of liberals, a lot of leftists, they flooded out of New York City. It was like, you know, New York City was this big funnel, and it just drained straight to Florida. All people coming from all over the country, all over the world to Florida. They say it's a hotbed for the bug. They say this, they say that, but everybody wants to go to Florida. The ad was so bad they couldn't find anything bad on the man. So all they could do is just try to make it kind of seem scary, like it was a purge. Matter of fact, I'm going to find that right quick. I'm going to find that right quick to play it in case you haven't seen it, because this ad was so ridiculous. I can't even really put it into words, because everything that people go to Florida for, even if you are a liberal, was in this ad and it was seen as a bad thing. It was seen as a bad thing, but why? Talking about, oh, there's no mandates. Sounds great to me. And this person right here who posted it, he says a quote from the ad saying, quote, "A state with no rules. Brutal new ad absolutely buries Florida Governor Ron DeSantis." But did it bury him or not? I think not. Let's check it out right quick. And let's get a little bit of sound while we're at it. Hold on one second. I got to get some sound on my end first. And there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of your cabin crew, we'd like to inform you that we have officially entered Florida airspace. Now that we're making our final descent, please watch this short message from Governor Ron DeSantis on COVID-19. Thereafter, everyone on board will be required to comply with the state's forever purge.
We are not doing any vaccine passports in the state of Florida. We trust people to make their own decisions in this state. We are not going to be bludgeoning people with restrictions and mandates and lockdowns or any of that stuff.
As Governor DeSantis stated, while you're within state lines, you do not have to wear a mask. You do not have to get a vaccine. It is against the law for private businesses or schools to mandate masks or vaccines. And you have the absolute right to infect whoever you want, whenever, and wherever with COVID-19. Thank you for traveling with us, and please, enjoy your forever purge.
COVID-19 is surging again.
This is the time to double down.
The governor is doubling down. He says students shouldn't be forced to wear masks.
If you are trying to lock people down, I'm going to stand in your way.
Florida just requested 300 new ventilators.
Hospitals are filling up here.
There is evidence that children are making up much higher cases that are emerging.
The numbers continue to rise across Florida.
This fall, don't breathe in.
This is insane.
The Forever Purge. Coming to a theater and live streaming networks near you.
So the end of it says, remove Ron, hashtag Floor, FLOREVVER purge. Forever purge. Now, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I feel like that was a campaign ad for Ron DeSantis. I would run that and put ads behind it and then put that on Fox News and everywhere else. I put that on MSNBC. That'd have more of a helpful effect than a harmful effect. Who was the rocket scientist that said that that would be something that would scare people? How would that scare anybody? I don't get it. I mean, are you guys scared? Are you guys afraid to go to Florida because of that right there? Yeah, I vote that right there. That'd be something I vote for him for. And you know, the ad, they lied talking about you can infect whoever you want. So I guess they're trying to say because there's no mandates for the vax, that's how you infect people. But that's not true because we all know that the vax does not prevent transmission. They said that. I'm going to play it again. As I said before, I'm going to play this until I get blue in the face, and that's going to be hard. So we're going to keep on doing it until I drive the point home. And you know what? Although I say this all the time, I say it like every day I feel like. I put it on my Twitter right now, and it kind of went viral. It got 219,000 impressions within like 5 hours, like 4 hours, matter of fact. I put it up at almost 4 o'clock today, and right now it's at about 219,000 impressions. People still not getting it. Not everybody really knows this, so I'm going to play it one more time. This is CDC Director Rochelle Walensky talking about the vax on CNN, live on CNN. Not Fox, not The Blaze, not some kind of quote-unquote right-wing nut job, Trump supporter. This is Wolf Blitzer asking the questions on CNN. Check it out.
Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. So if you're going home to somebody who has not been vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed.
Let's just run it back. In case you kind of missed it, you didn't really hear it. Let's run it back.
Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission.
What they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. That's what she said. I didn't say it. This is Rochelle Walensky, CDC director, the current CDC director, not former acting, not previous, not deputy. The director of the CDC right now. Matter of fact, Google it. Google CDC director and see what comes up. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. Hold on. CDC director. Boom. Rochelle Walensky. No cap, as the cool kids say. No cap. It's right there. And that's a picture right there. We just saw her on the screen. So, I mean, what are we talking about? So when I see people talking about, oh, well, the vax stops the spread and, you know, keeping everybody safe, how is anyone kept safe when you can still catch it and spread it just the same? And then the goalposts move. Oh, well, you won't go to the hospital. Oh, really? So nobody that has the bug juice goes to the hospital? Nobody? Really? Maybe it'll reduce your chances, maybe, but it won't stop the spread. So if you got little kids or somebody, grandma or something like that, I mean, they can still catch it. So what's the point in the mandates? See, the thing about it, what's going on with the vax, it's like they're trying to say it's like a bulletproof vest, although it's not really. I said in my video, it's like wearing a silk covering over your chest as a bulletproof vest. And then the whole thing with the mandates is, hey, if you don't wear your silk chest covering, when I got mine on, my silk chest covering won't become a bulletproof vest. That's the mentality. Does that make sense? Just asking questions. I'm not saying nothing about nothing. So if anybody's out there that want to flag, I'm not saying nothing about, I'm just asking questions. Does it make sense? She said it, so I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with that. You see in these statements be released by YouTube and whatnot talking about you can't say that, but she said it. So are you going to tell her she's lying, YouTube, or anyone else, any of these pro-vax type cats? I'm just trying to figure that out. That's all. Oh, and now it's a pill coming out. Did you guys hear about that? I think I've been hearing about the pill. But I think there's going to be one from, I think Merck, M-E-R-C-K, I think Merck are developing one right now. And it's going to be something you take with your vax. So it won't replace your vax. It'll be a supplement to your vax. Like a daily vitamin type thing, a Flintstone vitamin, essentially. It says, Merck says virus redacted pill cuts risk of death, hospitalization. Right? It's right here on AP. Again, I'm not making it up. This was published yesterday, October the 1st, 2021. It's right there, black on white. Real easy. All right. Simple and plain. So, like, what's really happening? And you know what's going to happen about them pills and all the shots and whatnot? The money machine going to get run up through the roof. That's what it is. All the other things that are already out there that won't get mentioned are very cheap, are produced generic, been around for a long time, trusted, well known. So that can't bring the money machine. You can't bring the money machine on that, but you can bring the money machine on some of these other things. You got patents and all kind of stuff going on. Oh, the money's going to be through the roof. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Say you heard it was IVM. It could be IVM. I don't know. I don't know nothing. Like I say, I'm just a guy talking. I don't know what's happening with nothing. But I'm just asking questions about what's going on, so we be on the same page with each other. That's all. That's it. It probably is IVM. And you know what? Remember when Kamala Harris went to the Walter Reed Hospital after she met with the Democrats that had flown on the plane and they had the bug? She went to the hospital for a quote-unquote routine checkup. The timing was crazy. You mean to tell me that you meet with a whole plane load of people that got the virus and you the vice president, and then the next day you go to the hospital for a routine checkup? Really? So at this so-called checkup that was so routine, what happened? What you get done? Did you get a big bottle of HCQ or IVM and just sweep that down with some diet soda and you good to go now? What happened? I'd love to know. Again, I'm just a man asking questions, just trying to figure out what's going on, just trying to bridge some gaps I have in my mind. That's it. And thank you for being here yet again. We almost got 2,000 in the building. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, shout out to, hold on. Oh, did you guys see the story that happened in New York? I think it's in Brooklyn. It might have been in, what's the name of that neighborhood? Williamsburg? Is that what it's called? Hipsterville, USA. Now, there was a story about this black man who, I guess, was walking his dog or something in the dog park. And a white lady apparently got upset. She thought that it was his dog. It might have been his dog, might not have been. But she thought his dog was acting up, just doing too much, loud or whatever. And then she allegedly said, go back to your hood. So, it's kind of a racially charged thing, I suppose, because you're black. You in the wrong side of Brooklyn. You in Williamsburg. It's our side of Brooklyn. Go back to Bed-Stuy or somewhere like that. Go back to go back to Red Hook, wherever you go back there. Don't be over here. But anyway, that is what he alleges that she said. Now, I don't know if she said it, if she didn't say it. Maybe she did. Let's just say she did, and she meant malice by it. Is it that big of a deal? Are you going to try to tell on her boss and get her fired? I think it's kind of soft, personally. It's kind of soft because this is some little white lady just, tripping for no reason. If I believe what he said to be true, which I don't know if it's true or not. But let's just say the scenario is how he said it. He's minding his own business, walking his dog. Here comes the big bad lady screeching at him, blah, 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 racist, all of that. Now, you're a big kind of strapping guy, sir. You could use your words, be a little aggressive, and she walk away. That's all you got to do. It's not called for you to record it and then put it on the internet and get some attention that way. But you know what? The guy has already been, this is kind of what he does. He has a whole book out. What's it called? You guys know what the book is called. About how to be the good white friend or something like that. Matter of fact, I know I got an article somewhere. Let me pull it up right quick. And the guy's name is Fred Joseph. So you guys will know what that is. I'm putting him on the screen right quick. See if I can put that right there. Yeah, so that's him right there. Frederick Joseph is an author, of course. And I'm gonna see if I can find if he has a. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's go to his Twitter page. And mind you, this guy is somebody. He's a blue check on Twitter, verified guy on Twitter, 116,000 followers, double what I got and some. So he's somebody. If you are somebody with that kind of presence on social media and you post anything to your pages, it's going to get a lot of attention because of who you are. You got a lot of followers. You're a popular person. You're an influencer, and your content is based around race stuff. So, of course, you're going to get a lot of attention. And the book is called The Black Friend, right? He's been on the Forbes, 30 Under 30, all types of stuff. He has several books. And it's a New York Times bestseller. And you can find the book in public libraries. In the library. So this ain't just some guy. This is a real person. And the book is called The Black Friend. This is not a commercial. I promise on everything. It's not a commercial. But I want you to understand who we're dealing with. So that's the guy's book right there. And you already see super Afrocentric, pro-whack. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. That's him. So I feel like this helped him more than it hurt him. Because you're able to get plenty of money from that. You're able to kind of continue your whole thing. Oh, I'm racist, the big bad white man's on my back, all this and that. You good. You good to go. That's kind of how it is. It's a hustle. It's a grift, as the cool kids say. I would never, I get all types of emails and whatnot from white liberals every day, but I don't go on the internet, blasting them out. Even if, let's say, for example, there is a video where the topic is about something that's really viral or about someone, I usually block names out when I'm talking about, when I quote tweets. Even if it's not really about them, I block the name out because I don't want anybody to get harassed or anything like that. I'm not even really trying to do that. I can handle whatever issue I got on my own. I don't need to have, The only time I wouldn't do something like that is if you're talking about a public figure. Okay, if you're talking about, I don't know, let's just say Keith Olbermann got in my mentions and talking greasy, I'm going to go ahead and retweet him because he's a public figure. This is what he does. He goes on TV. He talks about people. We can do that at that moment. But Soccer Mom 952 with no avatar on Twitter, why would I do that to her? For what reason? It makes no sense. So I feel like guys like that is trying to get money, trying to get some attention, trying to get some clicks to their website, try to sell those books. And I think you can kind of understand why people avoid those kinds of individuals, whether they black, white, or whatever. A lot of white folks do that too. Your Tim Wise and whatnot. Sean King. Sean King is literally cosplaying as a black man, but he is white. And he'll pick up anything racist and run with it to fuel himself. BLM, same thing. Real estate portfolio, money flowing from the sky. The craziest thing I saw was BLM, one of the ladies, and they're all black LGBT, right? Black women. One of the ladies is married to a trans white man. So the person is XX chromosome, but they identify as male and they're white. It's the funniest thing in the world. You hate the white man, but you get with a person who became a white man. You can't make this stuff up. I promise you can't make it up. I promise. But so it goes to show that it's not even about hating the white man, like you say, to get some money. It's about just getting money. It's a grift. That's it. A lot of the white liberals, they talk about how much they hate the white man and the white man's bad, but they live right in the white neighborhood. And let you be a black person and roll on the sidewalk the wrong way. They're calling the police instantly, right away. Defund the police in the streets, but when you come on their property at night and let one dice hit their curb, they're calling the police ASAP. Lock them up right now. Put them in the paddy wagon. Don't let them out. No bail. That's how they do. That's why I just see through all of this. I'm like, man, y'all playing games. Y'all totally playing games. But thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And what else we got going on? I talked about, shout out to Draymond Green. Setting up for his teammate, Andrew Wiggins. Now, I'll play that video right quick as well if you've not seen it yet. But Draymond Green, he plays for the Golden State Warriors basketball team. And one of his teammates, Andrew Wiggins, does not have the shot. And it's a problem because there's a vax mandate in San Francisco where they play. So as it stands right now, if he doesn't get the vax, he won't be able to play in half of the team's home games, which is, in half of the team's games at home. So he won't be able to play in at least 50% of all the games on their schedule for the whole year. That's probably not sustainable. I'm not really sure how it is. At a certain point, something's got to give. Either you got to have her relaxing the rules, or you're going to have to I don't know what you're going to do. You probably got to trade him. You got to do something. I would prefer that they just hold out and have a coalition of these guys hold out. Big guys, Kyrie Irving, maybe even the KD, have the big guys just sit out until the thing gets resolved. And then that'll force a legal issue between the NBA and the cities in which the NBA operates. Because you can move stadiums, you can move teams away from the city. It's like, okay, you guys want to interfere with my business. We can't make money here. How about we go to a different place? Let's go to Las Vegas and play there and not have any home games here. They could do that. The Raiders left and went to Las Vegas from Oakland. They were in Oakland first, then they went to LA, and then they went to Vegas. They could do that with no problem, and it wouldn't take that much time. It's probably already an arena right there. Just set up shop right there and have that be that. You can finagle your home schedule around what's going on. But anyway, so here's what my man Draymond Green had to say about the whole situation.
That would be like me telling him, like, yo, your wife is going into labor. How dare you leave this team and not go tend to your wife for what that could mean for this team? That's something that's personal to him. That's health related, that's, something that's personal to his family. This is no different. This is, we're dealing with something that to me feels like has turned into a political war. When you're talking about a vaccination and non-vaccinated, I think it's become very political. And, for someone who's not extremely into politics, when you make something so political and not everyone is into politics, then you can also turn those people off, and, I think there is something to be said for people's concern about something that's being pressed so hard. Like, why are you pressing this so hard? Like, so much, you're just pressing and pressing and pressing. I think you have to honor people's feelings and their own personal beliefs. And I think that's been lost when it comes to vaccinated and non-vaccinated. And it kind of sucks that that's been lost because you're essentially not giving anyone, you say we live in the land of the free. Well, you're not giving anyone freedom because you're making people do something essentially without necessarily making them, you're making them do something. And that goes against everything that America stands for or supposedly stands for. And so I know I'm not in any position to go tell him what he should or should not be doing. And as a leader of this team, I'm not going to go to him and say, hey, man, we really need, no, the hell, you do what you feel you want to do. That has nothing. I'm not going to go and ask him, did he get a polio vaccine? So why would I go ask him if he got a COVID vaccine?
Hey, that's a great friend to have, a great teammate to have in the locker room, a great guy to be out there playing these basketball games with, winning games with. That's why he's a leader on the team. He's a leader on the team. Shout out to Draymond Green for having that stance, for sure. And I think LeBron James actually co-signed what Draymond said. Surprising enough, I figured LeBron James would be on the other side and say, man, you can't say that. But nah, he co-signed what he said. So when you got LeBron saying, hey, you know what? I support that. LeBron, you understand how big LeBron is? LeBron is like a GM himself. If LeBron says, hey, you know what? I don't like having the shot clock be 24 seconds. It's like it be 18 seconds. They might try to actually get that done. They probably would try to, you know what I mean? Because LeBron has so much power. LeBron is the equivalent to what Jordan was and then some. And I say and then some because he has such a stranglehold on the culture and been around for a long time. He's a fixture in the NBA. Now, LeBron could be whatever kind of way personality-wise. That's irrelevant. I'm not necessarily a LeBron James cheerleader, but the point is that he has a lot of power in the NBA. That's the bottom line. There's a lot of power in the NBA. So when LeBron says something like that, you know what? Here's what I want to happen. I want this to be a legal battle that plays out between the NBA and these host teams. I don't see why there's a vax mandate because college football has no vax mandate. You know, the funny part about college football is that, well, most college football, if I'm not mistaken, the way it works is this. In most college football, some of the students, in order to go to class, you got to have a vax you got to have a vax sometimes, depending upon what school you go to. It's a vax mandate. But when you go to the game, all of a sudden it's mask recommended, vax recommended, but not required. Oh, okay. You see, I see what's going on. It's money at play. You understand? Because the students are funded by the federales. All these student loans and whatnot, that comes from the federal government, right? So you don't want to lose that money coming from the federales, so you make the students have the same federal standards on them. So you keep getting that federal money. But when it comes to the sports, when it comes to college football and whatnot, oh no, that's just straight private money, baby. So we're not going to have any kind of mandates right there because we know that if we have mandates on this private business where it's not funded by the federales, then we're going to lose money. Just like they said, 40 to 60% business has dropped in New York City after the vax mandates. 40 to 60%. So when you had that Ron Desantis ad earlier, and they're talking about, oh, why would you want to be there? Because they don't have any rules. They don't have any mandates. Well, apparently, people don't like all these rules and mandates. If they did, why aren't they rushing to New York City? Why aren't they rushing to California to fill that up? California is losing population. They losing House reps. New York, Illinois, same way. People don't like these ridiculous leftist cities. Some do. Some are going to stay. It'll still be a big city, but they're losing a lot of people, a lot of big spenders. Okay? My question would be, if you're losing 40 to 60% of your business, of your revenue, how many people, like, put it to you like this. You have 100% for your clientele, right? Out of everybody that comes there in the month, that's 100%. All the people, 100%. Then you have revenue, 100%. So if the revenue drops to like half, did you also lose half of your clientele? You understand where I'm going? You could have lost 10% of your clientele. The big spenders. Man, I ain't going to do this. I got money. I'm going to Florida. How about that? All the big tippers and everybody. So then when the waiters and waitresses don't get the big tips, they're not getting hours where they used to be because you got to close early and stuff like that. Or the money's not there, so they're going to leave out. You can't staff it. You're going to close early. They're going to go to Florida and get the money that they were getting before you rushed all the rich guys out. It's simple. People don't see it. So again, it goes down to the money. If the bottom line is affected, then you may see some change. We can protest, we could talk about it and whatnot, but I think the talking about it is a way to get people that have a lot of money to vote with their wallet and be like, you know what? If you don't change this, I'm out. If you don't fix this, you won't get my money. How about that? That's why college football, you can go in there with your shirt off if you want to, no mask or nothing, because you're paying that hard physical cash. But if you are a student or that come from the federal government, your student loan, that's Fannie and Freddie or whatever. So put your mask on and take this vaccine, shut up. That's kind of how it goes, right? So we'll see. All right. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Appreciate y'all for being here. Thank y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And let me see. I'm reading some of your chats here. Yeah, so basically at the end of the day, money makes the world go round. It's all about that money. That's what's happening right now with the federales. They're trying to sling that money around. Private business, they're slinging that money around. They're trying to get taxes out of people. They're trying to get your taxes, talking about taxing the rich, but they want to tax you. You sending your daughter cash out money, they're going to tax that. Daddy, can I get $50 to go to the... Now, you give enough of those to your daughter or whatever, enough of that money, oh, they're going to tax that. They want their share of that. You giving your kids money to go get some pizza and ice cream, they want that to get taxed. But they say they're taxing the rich and they're trying to make them pay their fair share, but they're going to tax you. This is crazy. I know even liberals I know are like, all right, that's too much. You know, I got family members, they're stone cold liberals. They loved Obama. They have Obama murals almost. Pictures on the wall. Like you go in the house, you see, family photos. You see your grandma, your cousin, your aunt, and then Obama right there, right in the middle. They are going to say, okay, this is too much. You going to tax my Cash App? Really? Is that what you're going to do? Man, it's getting crazy out here. All right. And then what else we got going on? Did I get everything I wanted to get? I think I did. Hold on one second. I'm going to just check. I got everything. I got Draymond, Anti-DeSantis Ad, the Transformer, Weightlifter out of New Zealand, Burgess Owens. Yeah. And I almost missed one. There was another race hoax out there in Missouri in the St. Louis area. Not quite like inner city St. Louis, but like out to the west. So St. Louis, Missouri, there was yet another race hoax. Now what happened was it was this kid at a high school who scrawled a bunch of racist epithets on the wall. I'm not sure what they were because they were all blurred out on the television. I'm not sure why, because it's like, come on, y'all show worse than that. I see all types of stuff I shouldn't see on Instagram. I can open my phone right now and see some ridiculous stuff, right? But anyway, I'm seeing some crazy things. And they blurted it out, so I don't know what it was. But it was this whole big race hoax. They staged a walkout, a protest, all types of stuff. You know, the typical thing. The kids leaving the school. They got Black Lives Matter stuff. They got bullhorns. It's a whole big protest. The same way, not quite the same way, but a similar vibe, a similar spirit, but nowhere near the same scale or violence of the Ferguson situation, which is right in the same area. Like right down the road is Ferguson from this particular part of St. Louis, right? Or the outskirts of St. Louis. But anyway, it was this whole big hubbub. Then come to find out it was a black student that did it. So all this drama, all this chaos over some racist graffiti in the bathroom, but it was a black person who did it. Now, at a certain point, it's like anytime I hear about a thing like this, any kind of racist graffiti that just pops up magically, and there's some kind of protest or something, I always think, Juicy Smouye, Dave Chappelle, is your fault, sir. You did it. You put that man's name on my mind that way. So anytime I see something like this, I'm going to think about you, sir. Juicy Smouye, it's your fault. And every time it happens, it's always the same. It's almost never. I've not seen one case since Jussie Smollett where it wasn't a hoax. Remember that guy that said that people came in his barbershop or salon or restaurant, whatever he had. You know, typical little, anyway. They said he came in there, they sprayed Nazi stuff on his stuff, they tore his spot to pieces, it took his TV off the wall. But then they found him later with the TVs with fresh drywall on them in his truck bed. Not even covered. It's like, sir, if you're going to ride around like that, at least put the tonneau cover over your flatbed so can't nobody see the TVs. You know what I'm saying? He had all the TVs in the back of his truck. He was apparently trying to get insurance money and maybe get some attention for the race hoax. But I don't understand. It's like, you know, if there's a race hoax that happens, people are going to be skeptical of any race hoax. And the more it happens, the more you're going to have skepticism. It's like this whole thing with the vax. They're trying to figure out, well, why is anybody skeptical? Why does anybody want to get this? Why is there still some holdouts? It's like, well, you've had a bunch of problems in the past. Why would it be any different now? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would it be any different now? It's going to be the same thing right now. I don't believe you're going to do a good job the same way you didn't do a good job in the past. It's simple. But yeah, anytime I see a race hoax, I instantly think that's probably fake. And it's unfair because sometimes there may be a racial hoax. Racial hoax. There may be a racial attack or some kind of racist graffiti that's real and it's a threat. There could be that. It could happen. But then when you keep seeing hoax after hoax after hoax, it get to be tiring. And you just stop paying attention to it. I didn't even know about that until it got brought to my attention. It didn't even go on the news at first. It was just like, because everyone knows that these things could be fake. See, back during the time when Obama was running, when Trump was first running in 2016, back during that time, and for a while afterward, if that story were to happen, before anything was known, before any kind of investigation, before any kind of fact-finding process happened, they would just say, oh, this is a race attack and racism is still going on and we're not free, all this, that. You would have Black Lives Matter out there. CNN would be out there. There'd be all types of Molotov cocktails and whatnot. Burning down your own place because somebody threatened to burn it down, so you're going to do it for them. But that's progress, right? But anyway, that would have happened already, but because there's no budget for BLM right now because ain't no election happening, at least not a presidential election or midterms, and since people are kind of skeptical about it, there was no news coverage. And of course, when there was a fact-finding process that played out, we found out that it was a hoax, as per usual. As usual. Right? Okay, now, we got super chats on that. I'm going to get to those right quick, and then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. We're going to get to those. And thank y'all again for being here. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Let me get to my first one over here. Let's go to, let me see. Let's go back. Oh, we got a few. Thank you to Leo, who says, I read that the School Board Association president wants Biden to censor parents. Did he forget about freedom of speech? Apparently he did. Excuse me. Remember, we as voters elect these school board members to the board. You know what? That's crazy, though, because the thing about it, I've heard that a lot about school boards. They don't want the parents to be in there. They don't want these speeches to be happening. So they try to do little weird stuff. They try to change the location, change the time. They're doing that actively all over the country. Now they want the federales to jump in. So now it's not even about them hiding the fact they want to silence them. They're going to try to go out there and actually do it. But the problem is still going to exist, and people aren't going away. They're not going away. They're going to it's going to be a lot of videotape recording. People are going to be wearing cameras to school. We're going to get all this stuff out there. It's a lot of TikTok accounts, Twitter accounts, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, where they're exposing teachers for what they do. So you can't even really get beyond that. You want to have the federales silence us or silence the parents. It ain't going to go down, period. Thank you to Apple, who says, shout out to Charles Hunter Jr., happy birthday. Right on, boss. Happy birthday, man. Enjoy your day. Apple also says, great show with Brandon Tatum and Megan. I don't want to say her name wrong. Shout out to Megan and Jericho Green, powerful convo. Yeah, shout out to them. Really good cast, really good people. Yeah, I've been a fan of Megan for a long time. You know, I've been on her Instagram. I like the powerful delivery. All good guys and girls on there. So shout out to them. Good show. Thank you to Leo, who says Merck has a potential drug for the virus, them pills, right? That I was talking about earlier. But if we talk about other stuff that can or may work for some, there is a problem with it. Not if there's a drug. Now, if it's a drug that works, then I'm with it. Yeah, my thing is, there are certain drugs that work, therapeutics that work, ways we can get ourselves prepared to get this thing. Like if I even say exercise and diet, that's somehow wrong. I don't understand. Why is that a bad thing to say? Why is it a bad thing to get yourself tightened up, regardless of virus or no virus? Just eat healthy and do right. I got to you on that. Yeah, I was about to. It's perfect timing. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Apple says USMC Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller in solitary in Navy jail. Yeah, that's really unfortunate what's going on with that. I may do a video. I need to get more information because I don't want to just, sit in my pants, just say stuff. So I may do a video about that and really just get down to the bottom. Let me see. Apple also says, please pray for Troy Smocks, proud black man, faithful Christian, courageous U.S. military vet raided by FBI for J6 protests. Troy's in solitary in D.C. jail. Unfortunate. Also, God bless all J6 mega patriots in jail before trial. Shout out to Stavros Stavrontopoulos, who says, ABL, keep up the great work. Thank you for your truth. Hey, that's all I do. Thank you. Shout out to Apple, who says, has the FBI solved Vegas shooting after 4 years? No, they haven't. They have no idea what's going on. They're too busy going to Trump rallies and stuff like that, trying to be undercover, but failing. Did you guys see that? I know I showed it on the show before, but if you weren't here, can I put it up right quick? Hold on. Let me see if I can. I think I had that on my stories. I'm not sure if it's on my thing. But yeah, that whole thing was crazy with the federales are doing. It's like, man, come on. You guys got to stay on the target. You guys are worrying about things that don't matter. Here it is. Just one more time, just for old time's sake. All right, these guys. It's like, come on. You guys are just there, just hanging out, just some dude bros shooting the breeze. Come on. You all look the exact same, the same physical. Agent Smith, that's what I see. A bunch of white guys with high tights, physically fit, the jorts, Garmin watches with no face on it. You know, this, I got a face on this one, right? It's a little G-Shock, whatever. They have completely black faces, apparently. That's a Garmin or something to the equivalent, like a smartwatch. And they got it's round face, so it's not like a typical Apple Watch. And they all got the same kind of watch on, same shades. This guy right here has on like some church socks, or not church socks, like suit socks. Like normally, this guy would wear some Men in Black looking suit with a microphone or something like that in his ear, ready for whatever. Then he's like, you know what? Okay, guys, I'm gonna put on my jorts and my college attire. How do I look? A brand new high and tight with the farmer's tan available. It's crazy. It's like, man, what are y'all even doing? Did I say Stan Smiths? Same thing. They got on Stan Smith socks to go to their dress shoes. Agent Smiths. Yeah, so shout out to the Agent Smiths. See, to go back to the whole super chat thing about the FBI not solving these crimes and whatnot, they got more important things to be worried about. They're going to the rally trying to be inconspicuous. Failing at it, obviously, but trying their best. Anyway, I digress. Apple also says Tatum and Jericho got in trouble as kids. Did you ABL? Not really. I kind of was just, I had more freedom to kind of roam around. So I tested my boundaries and I understood what the boundaries were. And I didn't really go too far beyond my boundaries. I had a different kind of childhood though. So I don't want to get into it too much. But I tested my boundaries and I understood where I could and couldn't go. I was kind of a smart kid. So I just knew what not to do, basically. You're So Cool 23 says, speaking of mugshots, show the comparison of de Blasio's daughter before and after college, if you could find it before. Oh, yeah. I saw that. I could probably find it right now. Hold on. I have one of her right here. Hold on. Now so let's go before and after. Hold on. Yeah, that's already populating on the internet. Okay. Shout out to Ezra Levant. He has it right here. So here we go. I found it. So Ezra Levant from, what's this? Rebel News. So that's her before. Perfectly, well adjusted. Looks great, right? Little glamour shot, Teen Vogue, all that kind of stuff going on. At the bottom it says Teen Vogue. You can't see it, it's cut off, but that's her right there. So that's her before. And that's after. Same person. No cap, as the cool kids say. Same person. Now, the after shot, you're looking like you've been on the bench for a few days and you ain't been to sleep. You've not had a cup of water. You pretty much just been out back. There's more pictures that I could show, but we have little babies watching, so we're not going to go down that road. If you look for de Blasio's daughter and some weird stuff, don't do it with your kids around. Because you don't want to see that. But that's all you got to see right here. And I'll leave it at that. So, Bill de Blasio, Warren Willem, whatever your name is, what kind of kids are you raising, sir? What's going on in your house? Huh? And how did your wife lose like $1 billion? Where is that at? Maybe you could put that money back into the city and get it tightened up the way it should be. Just maybe. Yeah, but college, man, it could be rough. Like when I was in college, I was always kind of like walking to the beat of my own drum. I ain't really do what anybody else did. I I didn't want to go and do the whole go on campus and live there. I was living at home and going to work, paying rent. I was already kind of like in a different place. So I felt like guys that pledged and stuff like that were just kind of like wasting their time. It wasn't, I was always kind of like in my own world, basically. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that was Bill de Blasio, New York City mayor. That was his daughter. And before college, everything was perfectly fine. No problems. Nice young lady. But afterward, I don't know what happened, but it just wasn't the same. And thank you again to the lead attorney. And if you guys are not on this channel, if you have not found this channel, please do so. Up and coming, rising YouTuber, a lot of great content, a lot of great legal advice, and also some culturally relevant topics. Long live streams, but hey, if you're listening to TLA, you got to get a guy to chop them streams up. Get a guy to chop them streams up. Talk to O'Shea. He has some guys to do it. Get one of them guys. It's going to help you. And matter of fact, do a new channel and chop it up there. If you're listening. And matter of fact, if you're not here, I'll tell you in the stream. I'll tell you in the super chat so you don't forget. Thank you to Cheryl H, who says Wall Street Analysis projects $10 billion in annual revenue from Merck's drug, which is called Monir. Okay, I have no idea how to pronounce this. You have MJO with the little dots, the little, you know what I mean? The little periods on top, the little dots on top. MJO with the dots. LNIIR. What in the world? Why call it that? I don't. Come on. Like let's stop playing games. You're gonna sell it to a mostly, an American audience. Why give it this Icelandic name? Why this ain't Iceland? This ain't Reykjavik. This is the USA. We speak American. Don't give it no Icelandic name. Magnus Samuelsson, something like that. That's kind of what I see right there. At least name it something that's easier to pronounce in Icelandic rather than some kind of obscure random name. I digress. I mean, matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Let's look it up. Okay, I guess I don't really see the news story. Okay, now shout out Charles Turner Jr., who says for the first time since it's 170 years, California will be losing a seat in the U.S. House. Correct. Population is going away. New York and Illinois are also losing seats. Correct. Because they're losing people. People don't want to be under lockdown. People don't want to be in a place where they can't really do much. They don't want to be in the police state. Now, some people, it's okay. It's not really a big deal. Some may want to leave, but they can't because they don't have the finances. Or they got their whole lives and the careers. They might have kids or whatever there, So it is what it is. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says it's not required if you have other schools to pick. What do you mean? You talking about the mandate? I mean, it is required because let's say you have a program, right? Because I've already gone through this. Let's say you have a program you are invested into, spend a bunch of money, you're a senior, you get ready to graduate, and this same program is not available at a different place, or if it was, you got to kind of go back and spend more time and spend more money. That's not always an option. That's not always the thing you want to do, to spend more money and more time in college. So you're forced to do a thing you don't want to do either way. You don't want to spend more time and money in college, and you don't want to get the shot. So you can't, it's like a false choice. You know what I mean? You're given two things you don't want to do. Rather than what you were doing, which was fine, which is what you signed up for, which is what you agreed to from the beginning. When you signed up for college, there was no agreement to take this shot as part of your whole thing. Thank you to Tam Tam, who says, laughing at Obama being with the family pictures. He is. Like, go to some of these families. You see Grandma, Meemaw, all of them, and then Barack Obama right there on the wall. But even them, they'll say that this whole tax thing is too much. The vax thing is too much. Even them. Thank you to Mr. Thou, who says, what if Biden did not slur when he said true international depression, given how the economy and everything else is going? He said the quiet part out loud. Well, I think you're right about that. I think you are correct. You know, the quiet part out loud, he was struggling to say it, but he definitely did say it. Let me see. Shout out to Tasha for becoming a member for 7 months. Thank you. Who said Smith and West moving to Tennessee due to gun laws, jobs going up. Oh, the jobs going all the way up. The jobs are going all the way up. And shout out to my governor, Bill Lee, for making it happen. And also all my house reps, the senators, and everybody. Shout out to all them. Let me see. Hold on. Thank you to Elizabeth DeFeo, who says, you are great. Salty says, you are a gentleman. Let me to your site. He was right. Thank you for that. Thank you to the Anti-View for being a 6 month member, who says ABL is the best. Multiple thumbs up. I appreciate you. That's hilarious. Extra ill. Cunning Bishop Sycamore, you don't need to get vaxxed. That's hilarious. Hey, you get a 5-star rating for that one. High five. Thank you to Telex 001, who says, around your age, grew up near Detroit. I have faith in my American brothers of color. Might be bumpy, but in the end, they will set this right. They are not on board with this communist crap. No way. Exactly. Right on point. It'll take all of us. It's not going to be just a one guy type ordeal. Thank you to the Anti-View, who says, Minnesota school cancel F grades for school, says they are racist, shaking my head. Says all students should have multiple attempts to pass a quiz or test. That's so silly. I mean, at a certain point, it's like, what's the point of going to these schools? You're not going to get educated properly. If they're going to just bypass the grading system like it doesn't matter, what's the point in going? Just stay home. You get the same education. Thank you to Santa Claus, who says the New York dog walker said he was traumatized by the lady telling him to go back to his hood, allegedly. Really traumatized by that, for real? It's like, sir, stop being so soft. Traumatized by that? Surely there's harder things you've gone through in your life than that little old lady talking about something, go back to your hood. I hear worse than that every single day on the internets, and it's nothing. I laugh at it. Shout out to my main man, Jericho Green, who says that video that you did about that beta male at the dog park, black folks like that make us look weak. Exactly. Thank you, Jericho. Exactly my point. It's like, stop being so soft. That was nothing to get all triggered and upset about. To film and then put on the internets and dox her and stuff like that. Why? Why even do all that? Now, am I saying that she was right? No, I'm not even really sure that she said what she said or she didn't say what she said. But let's just say she did. Was it right? No. But I get told things that are not right all the time on the internets, especially. But what you gonna get somebody fired over it though? I don't think that's really called for. It's not that serious. Thank you to Craig Sager, who says, Merck manufactures ivermectin. No one seems to be mentioning that. Oh, I didn't know that. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So how about this? What if they just put their same drug they got in the warehouse already in them pills and ship that out, but then mark it up? What they should do, just to be hilarious, is put them same pills and sell it for the same price. They should do that, but they're not. You know for a fact they're not going to do that. Oh, we're developing. We have R&D. We have time. We put $1 billion in it. It's going to be through the roof. They'll tell you the exact same thing you can get generic right now for the low price. You can get it for next to nothing now, pretty much generic. But they come out with that and give you the exact same thing for an infinite amount times the price. It's crazy. All right. But we got a few calls on the line, I suppose. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me get Skype rocking and rolling, and then we're going to get straight into it. If you're enjoying what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out a whole lot. Let's go 347 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, it is. What's happening?
Hey, ABL, what's going on? Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh, man, there's a lot going on. Man, you have a beautiful audience. I got to say that your audience is very amazing. And that's basically of the person who's doing this YouTube channel. I give off such good vibes, and everyone can call in and talk and say what's on their mind, because Americans are upset. I don't know how Joe Biden got 81 million votes, but everywhere he goes, he's getting booed. He's getting screamed at by the American people. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know how he got so much votes. But I want to say, there's a lot of things I want to say. Obviously, our mind is on this vaccine thing. Okay, everyone wants to talk about this vaccine thing. And I feel like, well, I know that a lot of people need to realize that these people are very serious. Like, they're not joking around. I know that sometimes we are just saying, okay, this is going to be over soon. But this is what they're telling people, that this vaccine thing is going to be over soon. But that's like how you set a trap, like a food somewhere to set to get an animal to eat it so you can catch the animal. I really don't believe this. They're trying to make this thing be over soon. I think they're just saying that so that people who aren't vaccinated will say, okay, well, they say it's going to be over soon, so let me go and get vaccinated. And then they add more security and more control to control the people. I really don't believe it's going to be over soon. They're saying that. I really don't believe that. What do you think? Do you think this will be over soon, like what they say, once we get vaccinated?
No, they've been saying that because they keep moving the goalposts. First, it was everybody got to get masked up. That was the first thing. That was the first goalpost. Then it was, okay, get the vax too. Then it'll always be something. And I'm trying to say get the booster. So it's never going to end. It's always going to be something. They might even try to do a lockdown again. It's always going to be the next thing. And then they're going to try to have more and more security, quote unquote, security measures, vax passports. It's a never ending thing. When they're able to gain some power, when they're able to gain control, that's just what they do.
Right. I 100% agree with you. And just to add to that, if they're coming for the restaurants, right? If they're coming for the restaurants, I personally believe that they're waiting until they can fool enough people to get this vaccine. And then they're going to come for the grocery stores. And a lot of people don't realize that these people are not playing games. They are not joking around. It's even a fly on the wall knows that there's something that is not right with this vaccine. There's something, honestly, that's not right with this, what they call a vaccine. And I personally believe that they're going to come for the grocery stores out there. And I think a lot of people, look at this bill that they just have, the infrastructure bill. I'm pretty sure you know about that bill. And they said something about how $600, if you spend more than $600, that the IRS will know about it or so forth. I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, they're going to report your information to the federal government, and then the IRS will have it, so they can tax you on that.
Do you honestly? Let me ask you this. This is a question I want to ask you because you're a very smart man. I honestly believe that America right now is in a war, but they're doing it so smoothly that the American people actually don't know. Like, they're doing it this it's like giving small cuts to the American people, and you won't die until you actually get enough cuts and then you're gonna realize, oh, someone's cutting me. I honestly believe that America right now is currently in a war. Do you believe that?
I mean, I'm not sure what you mean. Like, what kind of war? A war between whom?
It's a complete takeover. I believe it's a war against the American people.
But who was the war? Like who are the belligerents? Who is fighting the war? Who's going against who?
The far left media. There's a lot of Republicans also. That's honestly far left, and you really can't. They're Republicans in namesake, but they're not really doing anything that Republicans usually do. But I believe it's these people, that's the elites, or if you want to call them that, that's going against the American people and try to control them, because there's a tactics that a lot of warlords know and they use is to put fear in the hearts of people so that they can control the people. And I think this is what they're doing with not just the coronavirus, but they have been doing this for a long time, where they put fear in the hearts of people, where they create this chaos. And then the people bow down to them and said, okay, well, he's the person I need to go to for him to fix me. But instead, he's actually doing more damages. It's like a silent war tactics where they put fear in the hearts of people to control them. Now, that's what I believe was going on. I honestly believe that America right now is in a war, but they're doing it so smoothly. Look how they have control of the media.
Right.
Like every media is speaking to for people to get this vaccine. There's no alternative where the media is saying, wait a minute, guys, don't do this. Like, to the point where even YouTubers are saying if anyone have any information or misinformation, what they call it, that they will ban their channels or so forth. This is a war tactics. To me, it's a war tactics. And I think a lot of Americans need to wake up and realize that these people are not playing games. They are out for they're out for your soul. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, man. I'm
they're
with you.
Out for the American people's soul.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. All righty, caller, you on the line? I'm speaking to Skype caller.
Hi, this is Christina in Georgia.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi, I just wanted to thank you for addressing my question that I sent in about the police brutality case. I think I sent it in for your Wednesday night show, and I heard you answer that for me, so I just want to say thanks for that.
Oh, no problem.
I just had two other things on my mind tonight, if you had a couple of minutes.
Go for it.
I heard this rumor from a friend that, and I don't know if you heard this because I know you keep up on everything, so I'm like, let me just run it by ABL and see. You're like my go-to now. I was hearing that, in the month of October, like the federales, as you call them, are supposed to surprise us and take some money out of our accounts, our bank accounts, like it's supposed to be a surprise thing. Have you heard anything like that?
I've not heard that, but I wouldn't put that past them. I know they're going to look into the bank accounts as far as how much money is, flowing in between hands, if it's beyond a certain amount. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know how they're going to take it, or if they're going to, I'm not sure how that works. I guess it would go to the IRS, where they send you a bill if you owe money that they say that you owe, that they found, but I'm not sure how they would take that. So I've not heard that story about them just stealing money from your account.
Yeah, I was like, that sounded a bit difficult to believe, but I was like, I'll just keep my eye on my bank account. That's all I can do.
That's right.
I mean, I do that anyway, so. All right. And one more thing. I'm in the state of Georgia, so I really appreciate my governor for a lot of things, but then there's the issue with the 2020 election. I'm like, I really hope that gets turned around. But I said, you know what? It looks like maybe there's some good things about him that I might be missing that I should know. I mean, after all, I'm in Georgia, so you said you admire him. So I'm like, hey, give me a couple of pointers that I can kind of keep in the front of my mind so I'm not always thinking about the problem I have.
Well, I think that he's trying to, solidify the election. The same thing that Bill Lee is doing, the same thing that Ron Desantis is doing. I like that he's trying to solidify the election. He's doing what he can from his point of view. Now, as far as overturning the election, I think that's not something he could do. That's not really in his wheelhouse, but he can make sure that the election is as secure as possible from his state level. But when you're talking about Fulton County and stuff like that, it can be hard because they have their own way of being able to govern themselves. So you can just pass certain laws and do certain things. I like what he did as far as the virus, and I think he's trying to go along the same direction as the DeSantis and the Lee, trying to keep things open as much as possible, and he did that early. Now, Atlanta, they kind of want to do their own thing, but as far as Georgia, I think they've been open for a while, and have not just been so locked down like the rest of the country or other parts of the country. So I think he's doing a good job from my point of view. I think as far as the election, that's kind of beyond him, in my opinion. Like the 2020 election is beyond him.
Yeah. I can definitely appreciate that he kept the state open. I mean, hey, I went today to the park, to the restaurant, didn't have to worry about a mask or nothing. So,
there you go.
That is something to be thankful for. All right. Thanks, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, so shout out to all the good governors out there. Are there any perfect governors? I don't think so. I mean, to try to find perfection is going to be difficult to do. But I think that you have a good governor in Brian Kemp and a great governor in Ron DeSantis. All right, let's go to the next one. 865, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, you're talking to Lori from back in the hills. I wasn't expecting to get a hold of you tonight.
Well, I got you on the line, so what's happening?
You got me? Well, I was wanting to make a point tonight about Kamala Harris and her misstep there with the thing about the Jews being causing the genocide. Actually, for those who don't know it, the genocide was put upon the Jews. And I think that they've probably twisted history around to, make the Jewish people seem like the bad people. But with my husband being Jewish, what he taught me was that the state of Israel was formed so if there was ever another Holocaust, that the Jewish people would have somewhere safe to go. So I don't know whether or not they're teaching that in school anymore. They're probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
So I just wanted to clarify that for your audience.
Okay.
All right. And I think something else I wanted to touch on tonight was I was thinking that if you got two brain cells to rub together, you're definitely going to be wanting to, kind of question what they're doing with the stick. I'm not going to use the other word because I don't want to get you in trouble. That, by pulling away all of our being able to look at both sides of the story, they're just making people bow up and become more resistant. Because I know, even though I've had the bug, the more I hear them taking away our choice of being able to hear what's right with it and what's wrong with it, it just makes me bow up more and more. And I can see where a lot of people are really starting to get very hesitant about wanting to take it.
Absolutely, because it's like, well, what are you trying to hide? Why can't I know more information? I do that with anything. If I'm going online shopping for something that costs $100, I'm going to do my research for like an hour before I buy it. So why can't I do that with the vax?
Exactly. So what I'm waiting for to see what happens next, if they're going to stop people from going grocery shopping if you ain't got the vaccine.
Well, hopefully not. I think in certain states that's illegal to do. Like I think in Florida you can't do that. So hopefully that doesn't happen anywhere. But I don't think
the mandate's illegal too. So, but that ain't stopped them.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, that's a good point. But as far as Fauci is concerned, I gave up on him. I think back when he said, "Well, I had to lie to the country." Because we had to save the mask for the frontline workers. That was it for me. I was done with him. I didn't need to hear no more from him. That was absolutely over for me. So I was born at night, but it wasn't last night.
I hear you.
If you know what I'm saying. But
that's right.
Anyway, I just wanted to clear that thing up with Israel. Let everybody know that's why the state of Israel was formed, so the Jewish people would have a safe haven if there was ever another Holocaust, on them. And I'm hoping that maybe a big old gust of wind will come along and blow Joe Biden away again. And this time he'll be gone permanently. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call tonight.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty. Let's get to a few more calls. 717 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Moses. How you doing tonight?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So have you seen the recent Project Veritas video on the J&J shot?
Yeah, I did see that. Where you had to there were some guys that worked for J&J.
Yep. And it's so funny because who was it? Brandon Smith. I looked up his name. His profile is on the Johnson & Johnson website. It shows his job title and everything. So if you do your research, it's pretty much legit. I mean, Project Veritas hasn't lied to us yet, but to anyone who's been doubting Project Veritas, just look up his name.
Is there a bird in the background? It's kind of hard to hear you a little bit.
Oh, hold on. How's that?
Okay, that's better.
Yeah. So did you get what I said then?
Yeah, but I got you. Yeah, like you said, yes, you can verify it. You can look it up.
Yeah, you can even look up his name. It's on the Johnson & Johnson website, which I find very funny. And, for me, I just don't get why we don't present the facts to fight against this vaccine mandate. I mean, somebody from the FDA, I forget his name, he said something about we're killing 2 lives in order to save 1 when it comes to these vaccines. That's what he said. I forget his name. John Cooper from Skillet actually covered in his podcast. If you look that up, I just don't understand why we don't just come out with the facts and then fight against this vaccine mandate. I mean, would it help? I don't know. But do you think if we come out with the facts, have like organized facts to fight against these mandates, you think that it might help a little bit? Or do you think
it all depends on where you are, really, because some places, some states are more open to that kind of thing, but some places aren't. Like if you live in California, I'm not sure how you get beyond that, how you get to that beast of a government system. But where I live, they're open, they're looking at facts, and they're not doing this whole mandate thing. So I guess it all depends upon where you are and also what the company is and what pressures are on them from, federal politicians. It all depends, really. To make a long story less long, it all depends.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. I just wish that there was like somebody could just step up and say, hey, you're trying to recommend this vaccine to me, but how come the same people that are making these vaccines not recommending them? That's all you have to say. And this coming Monday, they're going to come out with another big pharma exposure. Who's to say who could be next? I mean, Moderna's on their list, Pfizer's on their list. I don't know who else could be on their list, but they're going to expose a lot of things. And for me, I'm very glad that they're being our voice, putting out the fight for us. And I'm very happy with Project Veritas. I subscribe to them, donate to them. They're really good people.
That's right. Right on point.
Yeah. So that's basically all I got to say. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but something I will say is for anyone that's thinking about giving up, don't give up, because this is what the government wants us to do. They want us to give up. They want us to have us break our spirits. They want to break us mentally, and they want to break us financially. Don't give up. There's always going to be a way. Hit up Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. See if it can help you with a religious exemption. Just don't give up the fight. Because I didn't hear no fat lady sing. I don't see no towels thrown in. We can still win this. It's just going to be a long, harsh battle.
That's right.
Just got to win it. So, ABL, I'm going to let you go. God bless you. And I see your subscriber list is growing. I want to see it continue to grow. You are doing great work. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's get to a few more here. Let's go 678. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, you're talking to Craig Sager. Thank you, ABL. Shout out to the best audience on Saturday.
Right on, man. Absolutely.
So you read my super chat on Merck. They are indeed a manufacturer of ivermectin. So I just find that so incredible that they're the ones that come out with this new drug that apparently cuts the hospitalizations in half.
You know, and like I was saying, it'd be hilarious if they just took the same stuff, the IVM that's in the back, just collecting dust because they can't ship it out the way they want to, just put that in the pills and sell it. I mean, how would anybody stop them from doing that? If they're developing the thing and they put it out and it works, then what?
Yeah, and if you look back at how they got involved with ivermectin, it's all about how it was for this purpose, but then it helped the river blindness syndrome, and then they were talking about how cheap it was and how effective. So they were the ones that actually made ivermectin prevalent. Obviously, it was the Japanese scientists that discovered it, but I just thought that was interesting. But the reason I wanted to call in was to talk about Jonathan Isaac in the NBA. That was really a wake-up call for me during all the protests when he kind of didn't take the knee or whatever. And then when he got hurt and tore his ACL, like I think it was like the day after or 2 days after, and you had guys like Dan Le Batard on ESPN putting out polls saying like, do you think it's funny? Blah, blah, blah.
Really? He did that?
Like, what? Yeah, it's like, what is funny about a 22-year-old, like, young NBA player tearing their ACL? So that was just, like, I have never been so just, I guess just, like, disturbed that it's all about, oh, we got to give these athletes voices. Oh, we got to listen to them. But then the second someone just doesn't, like, step in line exactly, you're going to laugh when they tear their ACL. It was just unbelievable to see.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm right there with you. It's crazy, 100%. So I would see why that would just kind of be like a light bulb moment for sure.
Yeah, and so the reason that was kind of, such like a light bulb game-changing moment, it's like when the BLM stuff first came out, I went to Georgia State's campus back in, I think it was like 2016. I talked to them. I was doing a bunch of things with the bone marrow registry and stuff, and how there was a lack of diversity. And if you're white compared to like mixed race or black, you have basically a 6 times better chance of getting a match. And I saw the slogans like Black Lives Matter. It's like, okay, this is something that will like save Black lives. And then I was kind of like invested in that cause, I suppose, until I saw what they did to Jonathan Isaac. It was just unbelievable. I'm like, this has gotten out of control. This guy did nothing wrong. You don't care about like even listening to why he decided to do what he did. You're just like mad at him and laughing at him after a devastating knee injury. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But those are my only 2 points. Once again, if you just Google the best audience out there, but yeah, Merck, ivermectin manufacturer, you can see all the articles about them praising ivermectin for how great it is. And so it is so interesting that that's not mentioned kind of in the stories about their new drug, is how they actually are also tied to ivermectin. Instead, it's just all political. It's all about, oh, they're still pushing this dewormer and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna look into that, and I suggest everybody out there do what he said. Look it up. See for yourself what's going on. Don't take my word for it or his. Look it up for yourself.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ABL. Love you guys, and no better way to spend a Saturday night.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right. Great call. I had no idea that Merck was manufacturing IVM. No idea, but it makes sense. Like I said, they probably take them same pills they got in the back and just repill them and sell them for a higher amount of money, and then everybody will praise it. It'd be the same exact joke that they demonized a week earlier. 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Just a humble grasshopper. I was wondering if you heard about the Illinois State police officer that was found shot on the side of the Dan Ryan Expressway?
I did hear about that. Yes, unfortunately.
Turned out to be suicide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, did they know what happened? Was there a note?
Not as far as I can tell at this point, but had no wife, no kids, and his mother was saying that he always wanted to be a cop, help people, and he just seems he pulled over on the side of the road and just took his life. Maybe he got fed up with. Maybe it was the vax. Maybe the vax mandate. They were, threatening him with losing his job.
I mean, you never know, man. It could be anything. You never know what's going on in somebody's mind. He could have just had a rough experience. Could have been a situation. He's out there on the street and something happened and he didn't get the proper care for it. So you never know what's going on in somebody's mind. It's very unfortunate, though.
Yeah, it's rough for the police, especially these days. God bless them.
Absolutely.
Well, you take care, baby.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, it's rough out here, man. It's really rough. So, yeah, prayers out to his family for sure. 503, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL. Thank you for taking my call tonight. I'm Pablo Tree from Portland. I was watching the Anti-DeSantis ad, and that really got to me tonight, especially since, last week I called my mom for her birthday, and we kind of got into a conversation about politics, which usually doesn't go that well. But essentially she was telling me how she was so mad at DeSantis because, she was a former teacher and he's apparently requiring teachers to write some type of one-page letter statement. I don't know about what. Maybe he's talking about, not bringing politics or religion into schools, which is, in my opinion, a good thing, especially in public schools. You should just, keep it to the education, the topics, the school, not all the surrounding culture and politics or religion or whatever. But to me, that just seemed it's crazy that she was so upset about that, yet there's other governors in other states that are firing teachers over not getting vaccinated. So, going against their personal or religious beliefs. So to me, that was just crazy, the hypocrisy, or I don't know how you'd say it, but I don't know, that was about all.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how it goes. Sometimes with the hypocrisy, it's just people just want whatever they want sometimes, and they don't look at things from the other way. It's just, here's what I want. I don't care if it's contradictory, hypocritical, so what? It's just, it's a selfish way of being. That's all.
I totally get you. And I remember you saying a couple weeks ago, from your personal experience, you realized at one point in your life, or maybe you just always kind of knew this, that, it's just not a good idea to go with politics or even sometimes religion with people, even in your family that, you might be disagreeing with. And unfortunately, I went there on my mom's birthday and I just called her to wish her a happy birthday. I feel real bad about that. But seeing that ad, that DeSantis ad, and thinking about how, she was upset with how he's treating teachers in Florida. And I'm thinking, what about in Washington where you live and what your mayor is doing to teachers that live there? Can you not see that?
Yeah.
And especially since I know she's a woman and she feels really strongly about a woman's choice to choose, right?
Yeah.
She raised me talking about, she should have the right to choose over her body. And, I'm thinking, well, what about people's right to choose for their bodies, even if it's not just a woman,
See, sometimes
anyway, I'll leave
you
it there. Thank you for taking my call. I'll let you answer off the air. I just want to say God bless to you. God bless you, and God bless the audience tonight. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't have done that because it's you have a point. You're making sense, but is it worth it at that moment to be correct? Is it all the time I bite my tongue? I don't say nothing. Family members, mom, somebody like that on her birthday, no way. I wouldn't say a word. And she always laugh when we're having a conversation and I stop talking. She always laugh because she know I'm just trying to, because I don't. But it's all about respect. That's all. And you may not mean anything by it, but you just got to kind of hold your tongue sometimes when you're dealing with family members, especially. Now, if it's a different relationship, that's. You got to understand who you're talking to and what they can do with and what they can't. That's all. So let's go to the next call here. 678, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. How you doing tonight?
I mean, making fart noises on the phone, really? Is that what we're doing? Am I tripping or was that fart noises? Hopefully I didn't hang up on somebody that was a legitimate caller. Okay, let's go to the next one here.
Wait, we can't.
3, 2, 1, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Oh, that's awesome, man. My name's Jason, Florida. Best state ever. Make Florida great again. Or make America Florida again.
There you go.
Of course you get on this and you're like, what do I talk about? All right, so
what's on your
how
mind?
do I express this? I'm not 100% how to express this, so you gotta help me here. All right, so I have great sympathy for other people. I usually would try to actually pursue like helping African American kids. I teach. You know, I would volunteer to help. I'm not a leftist, though, obviously. So there's always that rub. But sometimes I just, you know, watch YouTube, watch AK News. You know, I'm actually more into listening to Black conservatives because it's like they more have a real grasp of it. And it's just kind of disheartening because as a white guy, it's like I can't even really express like I want to help, I want to be there, I want to know what I can do to help, but I don't know. How do you fight that? Because sometimes I even broke my back doing Habitat for Humanity. I did something I shouldn't have done. I'm an injured veteran, and so I really messed up my back just trying to help. And so what would you suggest? It's like, should I even give up caring, or what do you think?
I mean, I'll say don't overexert yourself. If you want to do something, do what you can within your limits. Don't feel guilty about anything because it's not your fault. Whatever's going on in the world that you didn't do specifically, like if you didn't spill the milk on the ground, you don't got to clean it up if you don't want to. Now, if you want to clean it up, you can, but it's not your responsibility. It's not your fault that the milk is right there because you didn't do it. So don't go above and beyond. Just do whatever you want if it's within your power. Don't feel like guilty about it. That's my main thing. Don't have that guilt. Now, as far as whatever you can do to help, I don't really know. It's all different for different people. I do what I do. Some people, they're out there, they're talking to school board, they got kids. It's whatever. But if you're not doing a thing actively, don't feel bad about it because at the end of the day, there are still others who can do things. You don't have to be out there necessarily, if that makes any sense.
Right on. And a couple of your callers had some awesome stuff. I have a libtard mom myself, and it's awful. It's like I can't even, like, I have a degree in science. I have a master's in science, and she wants to, and it's in geology, and she wants to berate me for my views.
Well, I mean, some people you're not going to really be able to. People have their opinion, especially if you're older. You know, like boomer generation. What can you really say that's going to convince them anything otherwise? Even me, when I was younger, nobody could tell me anything. It had to be me that came to my own conclusion and my own decisions. Or if I was open to learning and changing, then I'd be open. But nobody could convince me. And you know what? It's kind of similar to what's happening right now with all this vax stuff because they're trying to convince us to have the mandates, you know, give babies a shot and all types of stuff, spend $18 trillion on the vax. And they're trying to convince us of this and they're getting frustrated. Right. Why is it not working? Why? At a certain point, you're not going to convince me. Nobody can tell me anything that'll convince me to go out there and get the shot, period. Now, if one day I wake up and say, you know what? Hey, I want to get it. That'd be my choice, not because somebody convinced me to do it. So you got to have that same kind of mentality with people in your life. You're not always going to be able to convince them to do a thing that you think they should be doing.
For sure. All right, I'll let you go. I didn't even think I'd get on here. Thanks for taking my call. You do great, ABL. Love listening to you. Keep it up.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
One day I wake up and say, you know what? Hey.
So yeah, shout out to the caller. You can't convince everybody everything. It's not. You're not going to convince me of some things, and same thing with others. And I respect that. I hope they will go turn around, but they might not, and that's fine. 951, you know, line, who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to? 951.
Hi, I was calling for an ABL show.
You're live on the show right now. This is me speaking. Okay, what you have on in the background is the stream. Just turn it off for me, please.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
I can.
All righty, so what's going on?
Hi, I was just calling to say that I love your show. I am a Black American female, I guess, and I've been watching you since 2018, and I just love your show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I can't believe I'm speaking with you. Well, I just wanted to say, I don't know if I'm on topic or not. Just let me know. But in regard to, I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of talk about ivermectin. And, I mean, I don't know if this is disclosing too much, but I was prescribed ivermectin in May of 2019, completely unrelated to COVID. And I mean, I haven't been sick since, so I don't know if that's really revealing anything, but I didn't know it was such a thing until I heard the name come up, you know, so much in 2020 and 2021. I didn't know ivermectin was even related to COVID until I heard it come up as a, you know, as a possible, you know, treatment for COVID.
Yeah, apparently
so that was surprising for me.
Yeah, apparently people have been taking that for a long time, like in West Africa, India, and whatnot, and they were saying that could be why they have low rates of the virus and deaths and whatnot, because they were already on that. Same thing with the other one, HCQ. They were already on these drugs, and they can kind of get them over the counter. So that's why that kind of explained what's going on with them and their low rates. And there were studies done on it from actual doctors and whatnot. And they figured out that this works as far as being able to, you know, combat this thing from what they say. I'm not saying that for anybody that wants to try to flag me. I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying what doctors say. So then,
right.
So then that kind of became political once it was put out there by the doctors, and it was a mad dash to try and stop this from, you know, going around. They're talking about, oh, it's horse dewormer, all kind of stuff. But people just say things that the media repeat because they don't want this thing to be out there as a drug because they got their own drugs, in my humble opinion.
I agree with you. When I was prescribed it, it was nothing related to a horse dewormer or anything like that. I promise you, it didn't have any sort of, you know, ailment that was related to, you know, horse dewormer or anything like that. But it was prescribed to me in May of 2019. And I mean, I can't speak to what it does as far as like cures, but I haven't had any instances of, you know, COVID or COVID scares or anything, you know, any COVID related symptoms, you know, since I've been taking it. So I don't know. I just found it fascinating that specific prescription came up and is related to COVID-19. And honestly, ABL, I've been watching you since 2018, low-key 2017, oh, wow. And I love your show. I'm surprised that I'm even calling you because it really took guts, because I would have never called in. I'm not really that vocal of a person, but I love your show, and I do really love what you espouse and what you speak to the Black community. And regardless of whether, you know, Black people follow you or not, I love you, and I really attest to you too. So I thank God that I was, you know, your content was, you know, ascribed to me, because I really love what you speak about.
I thank you for that. It means a lot to me that I'm reaching out to people and they're watching. So I thank you for being a long-time viewer, and you got to keep on watching. I'm gonna keep cranking out the content. As long as you keep watching, I'll be here.
Thank appreciate that. That's all I wanted to say. I didn't think I would get through, so I'm really glad to speak with you, and I just wanted to just put that out there that, you know, I don't know what ivermectin is supposed to do, but as far as what it was prescribed to me for, it's nothing related to a horse tranquilizer or anything like that. But I've been taking it since May of 2019, so if that means anything, you know, just put that out there, you know.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye, Bill.
Well, great call. You know, somebody that was prescribed IVM by a doctor before this virus thing and all that kind of stuff came about, and she's fine. You know, there was no talking horse. You have a human being that called into the show and explained what's going on. So when they said Joe Rogan was prescribed horse dewormer, it's like, what? You have a doctor that prescribed me a medication. They give antibodies and stuff like that to horses and chickens and everything else, and you eat chicken and you take antibiotics. So is that chicken dewormer? Like, what is that really? Like, let's talk about what's really going on here. So yeah, shout out to the caller for just bringing some truth, some honesty to the situation, which is always good. And thank y'all again for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, give the video a thumbs up, please. 802, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all right. How about yourself? Okay, I don't know what happened. If the phone hung up. Sorry about that, caller. I don't know what happened. Let's get to the next one. 808, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how's it going? You're speaking to Bennett, calling from Maui, Hawaii.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, all right, man. So first off, this is probably maybe the third or fourth time that I've actually talked to you. Love you, love your show, and really thankful for all you do. Just wanted to say that off the bat.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So probably the most serious call I'm making to you is tonight, calling from, like I said, Maui, Hawaii. I'd like to send out an SOS, as in we are in distress here in Maui in the state of Hawaii. It's made up of 4 different counties because we're an island state. I don't know if any of your listeners know or if you know. I believe you live in West Virginia, correct?
No, I'm in Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so I don't know if you know this or any of your listeners know this, but way out here in Hawaii right now, we are under a tyrannical government. Our governor, David Ige, and our lieutenant governor, Joshua Green, are running a tyrannical government over the state of Hawaii. And our mayor, Mr. Michael Victorino, is following the same narrative. We are under strict COVID vax mandate. I've been out of work for almost 3 weeks because I choose not to get vaccinated. And now they're forcing that you have to be testing once a week if you want to work. And I choose not to get tested for no reason at all. I'm a healthy person. There's no reason for me to be testing myself every week with that swab. So therefore, I'm on a leave of absence from work. Also, real quick, and I thank you for your time, ABL, very quickly, since August 5th, when they passed some pretty severe mandates wanting to poke the kids that wanted to play sports in high schools, there's been a real grassroots uprising here in Maui County. We have about 160,000 residents in the county of Maui. And since August 5th, I have publicly been calling out on very public local channels here for a public traditional town hall with our mayor. And as of this date, he has still ignored that request. So we are in a state of distress. Our mayor wants to ignore probably about, at least we know for sure, at least 5,000 residents that are in complete disagreement with the mandates. So the reason I called tonight is to send an SOS, and maybe I could talk to you offline ABL, we need help. I need help exposing our local government.
Well, you know what? Here's a suggestion. Project Veritas. Have you heard of them?
Yes, sir.
They might be able to help you here. I'm not sure who you know or who knows who, or you guys may have a group out there in Maui County. Maybe they can help and get something going, because I know one thing that happens when there's some kind of exposure that's going on that happens. Sometimes there's movement after the exposure. Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't, but I think that's worth taking a crack at it just to see what's going on and to try to get some kind of conclusion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The only problem with that is I love Project Veritas. I love what they do. And it's right now, I don't know if there is particular corruption. You know what I mean? All I know is our mayor, let me ask it this way. Do I sound crazy right now, ABL? If I'm asking my mayor, who is our elected official, basically I live in small town USA. We got 160,000 residents in my county. And for over 2 months now, we've been asking our mayor for a traditional town hall. That's it. And he has ignored us. Now, is that a crazy request from a few thousand residents to want to have a traditional town hall?
No, it's not a crazy request. Now, my next question would be, when is the next election to get this guy out of there?
Well, it's next year, 2022, and I don't know if a lot of people are going to make it till then. I mean, right now they just passed new mandates, okay? In addition to the vax mandate, in addition to the testing once a week. This is our current state of affairs right now in Maui County. If your kids are playing soccer games, the adults are not allowed to sit on the sidelines and cheer on the kids. They're not allowed. That's a recent new mandate. You know, Maui County is a tourist. Maui is like our number one economy is tourism.
Right.
And right now if you own a restaurant, you can only have 50% capacity. You can own right now, and this is only since the last 2-3 weeks, you have to show proof of vaccination, whether you're local or a tourist. Okay. And, there's pictures all over our local social media of restaurants, like, 2 tables at 7:00 at night. I have 2 tables in my restaurant.
Wow.
Like people are literally suffocating. Right. And our mayor comes out publicly he doesn't go public. Twice a week, he does video statements from his office. And he talks about this, he talks about that. And then he always talks about those people. There's these people right now that say, oh, don't wear a mask. Oh, you don't need the vax. And these people are not good for the county. These people are not helping us. And he's talking about us. We are not anti-vax. And we are not anti-mask. We are pro-freedom. We are pro-freedom. And they are referring to us as illegitimate, squawkers.
Right.
And we need to expose this mayor. So, like I said, ABL, I don't know how I can get you some information later, but, I know that you reach thousands of beautiful Americans, and it's hard not to get emotional, but, I grew up here, and I can't believe what's happening. Like, when I walk out my door right now, I can't believe it. There's literally talk about required vaccination to get on an airplane to either leave or come back to the state of Hawaii.
Yeah, man.
There's talk about it.
It's really crazy.
I
think the best thing would be that there's people that can help you. There's I said Veritas. It could be more out there. Reach out to me. Email me. It's hard for me to really respond to everybody, but I whatever I can do, if I have some resources that come to me, maybe I can send in your direction. But for now, I got more calls online. So thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, hey, what's your email? What's your email real quick?
contact@anthonyblogan.com. Everything's on the website if you forget.
Got you, man. Thank you so much for getting me on, ABL.
All right, thank you for the call. All right, a shout out to the caller. Let's get to 301. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 301, hello. Going once, going twice. All right, I don't know what happened, but if to anybody that's a new caller, you're not going to be able to look at the stream and sync it. You got to just be ready on your phone, so then when I pick up, you can hear it because there's a delay. So just please be on your phone and turn your stream off when the call starts. So let's go to. All right, let's try 984. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, ABL? This is Brian. I just had a quick point I wanted to make, and I think this is going to be kind of important in the future because they're talking about after we finish with COVID, now they're going to start doing lockdowns just for climate change. And so I wanted to point out that AOC and the left in general, they're basically saying that the first world countries and the first world consumers are causing climate change. But then on the other hand, they want to bring in millions of people from the third world and make them first world consumers. So it kind of doesn't add up, you know?
Oh, of course not. All this stuff, all this climate change stuff is all bogus. The vax, the climate change, everything is fake. It's all just about an ulterior motive that is behind the scenes that we may not know about or that we shouldn't know about. They don't want us to know about. When we say something about it, the plan they want to have, they want to shut us down. And then when the plan comes out, they don't want to act like we knew from the very beginning. Just like we knew about this thing of the vax not stopping the spread. We knew that last year, but then they want to come out and say it now like it's a revelation. We already knew what was going on. See, that's kind of the game they play. They gaslight.
Right, exactly. But if you think about it, I mean, think about all these millions of people that they want to bring, especially AOC. They're going to be using plastic, fuel, all this stuff. So how are they going to lecture first world consumers and, you know, especially the U.S.? This also kind of applies to Europe, too, because the UN's doing the same thing over there. So how are they going to lecture all these first world countries, and then they want to bring in millions of people that are basically going to be using more plastic, more fuel, you know, et cetera. So, anyway, that's pretty much my point, ABL.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Shout out to the caller. But you know what the thing is about that? They're playing games because they want to replace the regular American person with a lot of these foreign nationals because they know that, number one, that's going to be a big voting block. Once they can get them, you know, amnesty and stuff like that, that's the ultimate goal, to replace them. It's like, okay, we're having a hard time. Pardon me. We're having a hard time with the blacks. They still voting mostly for us, but any kind of shift is going to be a problem. Too many whites, they're not really beat down enough with the LGBT and the crazy academia stuff to make them be submissive and servile puppy dogs to us. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring in a bunch of foreign nationals, make them think that we are the saviors. We're the ones. Matter of fact, we're going to give them Biden-Harris t-shirts. We're going to give them Biden-Harris shirts. Make it obvious. Biden-Harris, let us in. We'll give them the shirts at the border. So when they come over, they'll know what it is. We give them their very first shirt on their back. So vote for us. It's an old school game, been going on since Ellis Island and whatnot, but I digress. So then they could just make them voters for the Democratic Party. So then it won't be this two-party system. People complain about a two-party system. How about a one-party system? How about no parties? How about communist China? That's what they ultimately want to do. And also, the next thing is, what I want to say about the one party. That's the main thing. I'll get it some more a little bit later. But thank y'all for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Oh, the second thing is they want to have a bunch of workers to work in, you know, farms and, you know, the hard industry labor that a lot of Americans don't want to do because they've trained us to not want to have physical labor. You want to have, Barack Obama said it, the fruit pickers and he said that, the fruit pickers and bed makers. So they want them to do those kind of jobs, right? All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Hi, good evening, ABL. My name's Ivan.
All right, man, what's going on?
Nothing much. I just want to build upon the, you know, what's going on with America. It seems like it's a controlled destruction of America, like a dismantling of America. What the current leadership in the government is doing, like with these vaccine mandates, shutdowns, all those things are going on. It seems like it's not about health; it's really about control. What do you think about that?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely about control. And it's been about that for a while because a lot of the things that they say simply don't make any sense. Even if it's a matter of disagreeing or agreeing with a particular rule, some things they do don't make any sense. They say, okay, you have to wear a mask in the restaurant, but when you're sitting down, you don't need to wear it. What's the point of wearing it inside? Things like that don't make any sense. Okay, going to the airport, you got a distance between each other when you're in the TSA line and in the concourse, but you go on the plane, you're in one small tube, elbow to elbow with your neighbor for hours. It's just completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree, and I just feel like they just want to basically make America into a second or third world country. They're trying to get rid of our energy independence. They're trying to basically crash our economy so they can possibly move us to a digital currency, so they can control and track us. And I think that's part of the reason why they want to expand the power of the IRS as well to spy on us.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it's not even about that little bit of money, and they already know kind of what's going on as far as money is concerned because of the way it goes. So it's not even about a little bit of money they're trying to get. It's about just the control. It's about spying. And they see any kind of strange things on your bank statement that kind of stand out. Oh, what are you doing? Where's this money going? Who are you giving money to? Why are you giving money to them? And then that can be used in criminal investigations and all types of stuff. It's kind of an end around to the whole thing with your phone because it's a lot of encryption and whatnot. Sometimes it's kind of hard to break the encryption. So they go into your email, bank account, things of that nature to see what's going on with you so they can spy. It's simple.
Yeah, I agree, and I just feel that I just hope that America can get through this because I feel like it's an attack on our system, like a Marxist revolution is going on. Because I feel like there are a lot of commie sympathizers in our government that works behind the scenes, possibly in the Biden administration. They're just doing all these controlled demolishing of the government, especially how they're leaving the border open. Getting flood in. I think that's the reason why you leave those illegal immigrants come in to flood the country is part of to do a destruction.
That's right.
Of our country as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking my call again. Love your work and hope you have a good time and good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Great call. Shout out to him. Let's go. 856 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 856, hello. 856, going once, going twice. All right, 856, you got to be ready on the phone. If you are a new caller, please have your phone ready to your ear so when I pick up, you'll be able to answer. If you're watching the stream, you won't be able to catch it because it's a delay. So you'll be watching the stream while I'm talking. All right, let's get to the next one here. Let's go to 318. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL. Hey.
What's going on?
Technologic, man. How's everything going this evening?
It's all right. How about yourself?
All right. Hey, listen. And I mean, I want the rest of the people listening to think about this. You're a coach and thinker, right? I analyze things. I think you're the same way.
Correct.
Probably a lot of people in this chat are. At what point let's just say for a metaphor, you've got a computer you're trying to repair, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going and you find out this part is bad. You try to replace it. This other component is bad. You replace it. You keep on doing it. At what point do we replace the whole motherboard? You just rip the whole thing out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, are we going to continue to let this erosion take place? And at what point do we change tactics on these people? And you think it's overdue, or do you think that we're still, are we still trying to take this like calmed pace course? I mean, what do you think?
So, I mean, I'm not understanding the question. So basically, like approaching some of these issues in a different way will make a difference. Is that what's kind of what you're saying?
I mean, the patience that we're giving to these these criminals. I mean, essentially taking advantage. People all around me are kind of, I know you've heard this too. People are, even some conservatives are saying, well, for example, the Democrats, they won. It's clear that they got these positions. I'm like, well, it's kind of like if you bought a car and you had the title, and I went over and I stole it from you, does that make it my car? No, and I'm not just talking about the election. I'm talking about a litany of things. You know, at what point do we, you know, I don't know, change our tactics? You know, people are always talking about what we could do, what we should do, but I don't see a lot of that going on. Yeah, and I just wonder, you know, are we still in the negotiating phase? I guess. I think we're past that. A lot of people are, and I'm not like a rush to action type of person. I just wondered, like, are we on schedule, or should we be looking at these other, you know, techniques? Are people just falling behind, or are we, you know?
Well, I'm not sure what the other what else you could do. You know, I just don't really have a lot of those answers beyond what's already happening.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? No, nothing crazy now because we are on YouTube. But what do you suggest?
Well, I mean, you know, the best thing to do, you know, like they say, is fight fire with fire. You know, but people are going to have to kind of get out. The problem, like I said, well, there's some issues with being a conservative is that we're individuals, and with individuality comes, you know, our individual, you know, disagreements. But at some point, we're going to have to put aside our small differences and kind of come together in a more organized fashion. And I hate that term because I think people ought to move with logic. You know, they ought to move with cogent. You know, you make a decision because you say, oh, I'm going to do the X, Y, Z because it saves money and gives me the best result in this scenario. But it just seems like this bill. Have you read some of the terms of the spending bill that they're putting across? I mean, it's ludicrous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it's tree equity. I mean, is that do you think that's a distraction? I personally, this is my theory. I've been building this for a long time, and I heard something. And remember the OJ trial when they had all the police and they messed up all the evidence and like it ruined some of the investigations back when OJ was on trial? I was watching a documentary about that, and they said a lot of times people make up these conspiracies, but in reality, the reason why things happen in situations like that is to cover up incompetence. So my question to you is, do you think it's more incompetence and they're trying to cover it up, and you think we're just projecting these conspiracies onto these people, or do you think these are actual plans?
Oh, they're actual.
I've been curious about your opinion.
They're actual plans, but I don't think the people that we see that are out there, your AOCs of the world, they're not coming up with the plans. There's people that are behind the scenes, been there for a long time. I guess you call that the deep state. A lot of these permanent federal employees, they have their own agenda. And you have a lot of these big companies, a lot of the so-called sponsors and whatnot, big donor class, they got their own agenda. So then they just use politicians. They purchase politicians for whatever it costs. And as a matter of fact, not only do they buy politicians, they create politicians and then put them out there. AOC, prime example, she's basically an actress who was cast for a part. It's like, okay, we need a politician. Come audition. Okay, we'll pick you. All right, go out there. Here's some money. Here's some speaking classes, and go out there and do that, and we'll work with you. We'll give you some money on the back end. Make sure everybody's taken care of. You'll be, you know, fame and fortune, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how they operating right now. So it's not even about their incompetence. It's about them kind of just being used to fulfill a greater narrative that's really beyond them, quite frankly.
So we need to figure out who those, like, for example, AOC, I know it's that one kind of, I think he's a redheaded white guy, and the other guy's like an Indian fellow, if I remember correctly, when AOC was created. She was a bartender, I think.
Correct.
I remember when that happened.
Correct.
But, I mean, we need to find out who these people are and, like, maybe expose them with Veritas and things of this nature. And I think he's a powerful tool. I think you mentioning that was really important for that caller earlier. More people need to look at things like that because it's irrefutable. You know, it's unedited video. So, you know, whether or not you like it, you can't change the truth. You know, that's why we have to remember to kind of stick with our guns on that kinds of stuff.
But
anyway, I appreciate the input. I'm just trying to get another perspective. But anyways, I'm going to let you get to your next caller. I don't want to talk more. Well, have a good evening.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Brother. Take care. Peace.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, AOC was a straight actress. That's all. Straight actress who was cast for the part. And then she succeeded in being able to get that part. That's all that was. It was nothing more, nothing less. All right, let's go to 334 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, this is Ryan. So that last caller, I think what he was trying to get to is we talk about voting and we talk about Republicans and we do this and that, but nothing changes. So what do we do as voters, since we only have option A and B, Republican or Democrat, and they're both from the same make? They've both been there forever. They both know the game. So what do we do? What do we do as voters to change? Civil disobedience or what?
Well, I mean, like, first of all, let's kind of just slow down a little bit. When we say things don't change, I mean, we're talking about just like right now, this year, because let's not forget.
I'm talking.
Wait. Hold on.
You can go back to the Clinton years.
Okay.
You know, he got impeached. A lot of things happened. We saw Hillary. A lot of things happen. Emails. Nobody gets arrested. Nobody goes to jail. They still run for president like nothing happened.
Okay. Now, what I was going to say is that we had some things that happened as far as the federal government, definitely during Trump. And that was just last year when he was not in office anymore. Actually, this year, his last day in office earlier this year, there were a lot of things that changed under Trump in that very short period of time. And there's things that kind of changed. We're talking about the federal government going back and forth between administrations. But the federal government is not the only thing that you got to worry about, because depending upon where you are right now in the country, you could live in California or live in Tennessee. You live in a whole different life because local government. So that matters as well. It can't just be a focus on, I vote every 4 years for the president, and if I don't get my way, I want to go out there and riot. It's got to be focusing on local government as well.
I don't mean riot.
I understand. Wait, caller, listen. Caller, listen to me now. Let me finish. Now, what I was going to say, I'll let you talk. Let me just say what I got to say. The focus should be on local governments, making sure everything's going on right in your state. Federal government's important too. Let's not get it twisted, but local is the most important in my humble opinion. But go ahead.
I feel you on that. I got you. But even when I go to my local poll, I got D and I got R. I got two choices to vote from. Of the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who live in my city, I got two options: Democrat, Republican. So the bottleneck is not necessarily all the people out there like you know, people that I follow, that I kind of listen to, that don't run because, you know, you got a life and you got other things to do. It's when I go to that poll, no matter what has happened in the previous 4 years, I got two options. I got a Republican, I got a Democrat.
Okay. Now, here's the thing about it. You got a primary election. There's more than two options, ain't it? Huh?
That is true.
You got a primary election. And also, if you have more than two options, will it really matter? Because at the end of the day, all you're going to do is still have the person who wins. I mean,
that's the whole question. Like, does any of it matter?
Well, voting does matter.
Same arguments.
Voting does matter.
Since I've been watching politics.
Okay, but and your entire life has nothing changed. It's no difference between the first time you saw politics and right now.
No.
So the country's not in a different state.
I mean, when they talk about the budget, when they talk about infrastructure, when they talk about I hear the same thing for all my life. The same problem.
Is a country not different from? Is a country not changed from even 2 years ago? Positive and negative?
Yeah.
All right. So let's not act like things don't change. Things do change. Let's be realistic. When you're talking about the political arguments, a lot of those that's gonna be kind of similar, because really it's A or nay. You got a budget, you want to increase, decrease. It's a lot of that's gonna be the same. But as far as how your actual life is going to be when you're talking about taxes and how you live and the school system and whatnot, those things do change. Those things most certainly change. Now, the left, they are the ones that are kind of behind a lot of the change, unfortunately, because they are active and trying to change things on a local level. We're talking about schools and critical race theory. We ain't talking about the federal government. We're talking about your local school board in your town. That's where you got to focus your energy on, not voting for the president and having him fix your local school board. You see what I'm saying? But the left, they focus on local government. That's why I say what's happening right in your city, in your town, that is most important.
Well, I'll pay closer attention to my local polls and local people. But the bottom line is they all speak the same speak. They all say the same things. And then when they get elected to office, they all do the same stuff.
Well, obviously not.
Well, an outsider.
Well, obviously not, because critical race theory, the way it is right now, that wasn't like that even 10 years ago. So obviously some things change, don't they?
Some things get tolerated that wouldn't have gotten tolerated 10, 20 years ago.
Some things change, is my point.
Like critical race theory. I'm black, but critical race theory 10, 20 years ago it would have been laughable. It would have been, even growing up and having to go through racial things as a black man, I would have never thought the answer is to do the reverse, get them back. That's never the answer.
But see, the question you got to ask yourself is, how did that become acceptable? Was it just by happenstance, or was there a concerted effort? Was there an effort from people that are out there pushing CRT to kind of ease it in the school system, to ease it in there?
People like you, me, the people that listen to you have been kind of shamed into thinking that we're out the norm, not accepting, anti-homophobic, when we just believe certain things and we have certain preferences. And we're basically told to be quiet.
But see, how did that happen though? Because it wasn't like that years ago. So my point is that there were things that were done. It wasn't just by happenstance. It wasn't like, okay, 10 years ago, it was totally unheard of, laughable. And now all of a sudden it's accepted. It was a process that happened from these people that are out there locally. They creeped it into the school system. They creeped it in there. And now it's gotten to the point where it's been building up for a long time because of what they did on local level. That is my point that I'm trying to make
here. But if
here.
they creeped it in, why can't we blow it out? Why do we have to creep it out? I mean, what do we have to do to get rid of it?
The issue now is we got to just fight back against it however we can. Now, people want to go out there and just act a fool. That ain't going to do nothing. We got to make sure that we're employing the proper tactics. Now, as far as all the things, can I fix every problem in America right now on this phone call? No, I can't. But people that know more than I do are able to do it. If people were able to creep those things in there and blow it up to the way it is right now, we can go back the other direction, but it's all on us that want to do it. That's really the long and short. Anything else ain't going to work, period. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
That's true. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it was a process that happened. They creep things in there, and now here we are. Local level, state level, your town. Like when I did my speaking engagement up there in Athens, Tennessee, my man, shouts to my man who operated the whole thing, my man Todd, he was telling me about there's a DSA office right there by Knoxville. That's the Democratic Socialists of America. The AOC types, the kind of Antifa types, right up there in Knoxville. You wouldn't even know it. But they're going to start small and then grow exponentially. That's how they operate. You see what I'm saying? And the phone lines are blowing up. I'm trying to get everybody on as soon as possible. Y'all hang tight. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Wow. Good grief. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is the Ant-Man channel.
All righty. I got a little bit of sound in the background. Turn it down for me, please.
Oh, hey, this is the Ant-Man channel.
All right, but what I'm saying is I have sound in the background. Turn that down for me, please.
Oh, okay. Everything's turned down in the background.
All righty, so what's going on?
What's up, ABL? How's it going, man?
Everything's all right. Can't complain.
Right on. So I had a question quick. Where do you think these John Durham indictments are going to go anywhere?
I have no idea. I've not really been following that, honestly, so I don't really know what's going on. But do you know kind of what's happening to just kind of inform me?
Well, I know that he has indicted an advisor to Hillary Clinton's campaign, so I know that he's starting to. It seems like he's trying to creep a little closer and closer to the swamp.
Well, hey, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
All right, awesome, man. Thanks.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
Yeah, I've not really been following that. Sometimes some stories it just misses me. I need to follow that though. I need to be more informed about some things that I'm not informed about. 301, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 301, hello. If you're talking, I can't hear you. All righty. You got to be ready. Ready, Yeti. If you're not ready, I can't do nothing for you. Sorry. Let's go 267 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
I can't believe I got through. ABL. What's happening?
Not too much, man. All righty. What's going on?
Your moderator. Excuse me. I just wanted to say, everybody keep your heads up. The biggest thing that I keep hearing is all kinds of depression from everybody out there nowadays. We the people still mean something. And it starts within your communities. Right now, they want to make sure that we all stay divided. And that is just not acceptable. You know, the mainstream media has a way of misguiding everyone, and it's been that way throughout history. However, we have to remember that the power still lies within each and every single one of us to do the right thing. And the first thing that we have to do is try to get rid of all this hate that we're feeling, because it does us no good. We got to stay cool, calm, and collected. And remember, and I heard one of the previous callers talking about that voting really doesn't mean a thing. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Honestly, it starts within your communities. You know, there are so many different political offices that pretty much lay vacant and are filled by these Democrats left, right, and center. And it's disgusting to me. If people realized the true power that they have to make a difference, then I think everybody would start standing up. Just don't lose hope is the ultimate message that I always try to put out to everyone out there, because that's how they win. You know, anybody can look into the history of the mainstream media and see their tactics. It's so obvious. But right now, of course, they're trying to throw everything against the wall to see what sticks. You know, we can't rely on anyone in government right now. You have to build yourselves up at home first and then branch out from there. Reach out to your neighbors. Make these community programs mean something again. And if your community doesn't have one, then get out there and make one. It's a lot easier than y'all think. It really is. It really is. But again, we have to leave hate and all of this name calling, just everything that they've been trying to incorporate into our society by the wayside. Because otherwise, they're going to win. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. But a lot of people are starting to wake up, and that's why, ABL, I'm so proud of you. I really am. And I've loved being a part of the channel since you started it. And it has been a pleasure of myself and Charles Carter Jr. and so many others that have dedicated some time to just seeing your channel grow. And I just can't say thank you enough. I really can't.
Well, thank you for that, man. It means a lot to me. Definitely appreciate you for your call and for your help all the time.
All right. Hey, God bless you, Bell. And I don't think I got a chance to personally say it to you, but congratulations on your nuptials there. She is definitely a good woman for you.
Well, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Everybody, on a quick party note, look, just still try to stay involved with government in one way, shape, or form. Make the calls. Hold these politicians accountable. You can all call Congress. You can call the White House. You can email. There are so many different forms of communication. Just try to do something. Quit sitting there staring at your phones and complaining and all that. If you're not taking action, then you're sitting on idle hands. And we all know what the Bible says about that. So stand up, be about something, and do something instead of just constantly complaining. Because, again, that's how they win. So, ABL, thank you for your time, and God bless everyone, and God bless America.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Shout out to True Helper for calling in. Appreciate you, man. And thank you all for calling in. The calls are blowing up, so I'm trying to get everybody on as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. Let's go to... All right. Hold on one second here. Okay. Give me a... So many calls. 954 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Joseph.
All righty. What's going on?
This is ABL.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you were actually on live. Am I calling the wrong thing?
You're live right now, but what you got to do is turn the speakers off in the background because the stream is delayed.
I'm taking it off now. I'm off.
All righty. So what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? My name's Joseph. I just wanted to ask you to touch on a little bit of I work for a pharmaceutical company, and I see that we got an email in. They were talking about a twindemic now, basically talking about a lot of the shortages and on the flu vaccine. And I just wanted to see what you thought about that, where you see USC is mandating the student body and the faculty to have the flu shot as well. And I just wanted to see what you thought about what direction they were going to go in with getting the people to be in fear again about the twindemic, having the flu vaccine and also the pandemic vaccine. I wanted to see what you thought about that at this moment.
That's crazy, but because I kind of saw that coming, because I was saying before, I feel like the same rhetoric that's going on right now with the virus is the same kind of rhetoric that was happening with the flu shot. It's the same type of thing happening. So for them to say, "Oh, you got to get that now," that's no surprise to me at all. I kind of already had seen that coming.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well. Again, just looking at it, we didn't hear anything about the thousands of deaths that flu brings every year. And I was wondering when that was. I kind of saw the play, same that you were saying. And I just kind of wanted to hear what you had to say about it, just see the direction and see if that was just another play of kind of forcing individuals into getting the COVID vaccine as well. So I just wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I think, and I heard they're going to try to combine them into one. So then at a certain point, it's like, okay, is it the flu or what is it really? Like, what is this thing that we've been talking about for the past couple of years? And I think that we will probably get some answers later on, unfortunately, after this whole thing has kind of died down.
Okay. Well, hey, look, man, I watch you. I don't watch too much TV. I do like what you speak about. I like the way that you present it, and you did wrap it up with your 2 cents in a nice big bow. So, hey, I like that, man. You keep doing what you're doing. You be safe out there, and I'm blessed.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Take care. All right, ABL. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, that's crazy, though, that they're going to try to mandate the flu shot, too. But ain't no surprise. Is anybody surprised at that? They shouldn't be surprised that they are, because I think anybody could have seen that one coming for sure. 608, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Mike from Wisconsin.
All righty, what's going on?
I was wondering if you heard anything about this book that Stephanie Grisham released or whatnot, or she just recently published, I guess. CNN's having like a field day with it. I was wondering if you had any opinion on that.
I've not heard about it. What is it called? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you the title right off the top of my head, but I'm like, find it, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what the title is, but basically she's like dumping on Trump through the whole book, I guess. I've been reading some of the excerpts on CNN.
Yeah,
if you haven't heard about it and you have no opinion, then I guess you'll have to kind of, if you hear more about it, I guess maybe you can get your perspective later, I guess. So
definitely.
All right, well, thanks, ABL. You have a good night.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep, bye.
All right, so yeah, I've not heard about this book. I just Googled it right now, and I see this article in New York Times, and I'll put it on the screen right quick. Just this little header. That's funny to me. It says, "Sorry, Stephanie Grisham, you are not redeemed." And then there's a picture of a book that's like really torn and tattered up with a worm going through it. So I guess they're saying, well, you wrote this book attacking Trump, but it still won't absolve you of your sins by being affiliated with Trump. I guess that's what's going on. So, pardon me. I guess that's, kind of where we're at right now. What can you really do to apologize to these people or try to get into their good graces? Nothing. They want to put you on the permanent blacklist. It's crazy. 720, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is your boy Scotty down here in Shelby County. How you doing tonight?
Everything's all right, man. Can't complain about yourself.
I'm doing all right, man. Just trying to pull off a little bit of work, taking a break. Just wanted to give you a quick call on that video you posted earlier about the no pronoun leagues, weightlifting and all that good stuff.
Right.
And that was out of control. It was funny. But I don't know. I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Joe Rogan or someone. They were doing a comedy bit on the difference between having like a steroid league and a non-steroid league as far as Major League Baseball and stuff, and who would have the more fans. I definitely would want to watch the steroid league. They'd be crushing it.
Hey, it'd be Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. I want to watch that all day long. You be talking about home run derby every night.
Yeah, that and even in football, you know what I'm saying? It'd be a totally different sport. Every sport would be different. You got a pro steroid league. But yeah, I just wanted to call and say what's up, and I thought that video was funny. And when you posted that DeSantis video too, man, at first I thought it was like a parody or something. I thought it was a joke. I was laughing so hard, and I was like, oh my God, this is real. I couldn't believe that was real, man. And like you said, I don't know who's falling for it, but I bet there's people out there falling for it, man. It's a crazy world out here.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you get to some other callers. I just want to drop you a line and say, hey, and happy belated birthday. I didn't get to get through to you on your birthday back then, but I've been busy. But happy belated birthday, and hope you got your carrot cake and everything was all good, boss.
Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you.
Yep. You have a good night, man. We'll talk to you next time.
All right now.
Bye.
Yeah, that's hilarious though. Steroid league and non-steroid league. That's funny. Hey, speaking about what I was saying earlier about the transformer, Laurel Hubbard, the weightlifting champ, XX male who now identifies as female and crushing the competition until he got to the Olympics, and fell apart at the Olympics, didn't even medal at all, couldn't even get a lift up at all. It's like, sir, you got to really, when the lights are shining, you got to be able to go out there and get her done. All right, let's get to the next one here. Let's go to 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hi. So, sorry. I was been listening to you today, and I don't know if you meant what you say or believe what you say on certain things. Just one little issue is that there's jobs out there that Americans won't take. Now, the thing is, before a lot of the illegal immigration and stuff like that, you see, my family comes from a lot of construction workers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, a lot of Americans actually do want those jobs. One of the big problems is that either they're not advertised or they're not hiring a lot of American workers. Now, a lot of people seem to think that if there are low wages, that actually construction jobs and stuff like that actually pay extremely well. Depending on what your position is, they're almost always above minimum wage. And, especially if you're in it for a long time, a lot of people make six figures on a lot of this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're doing asphalt, for example, and you're not even a foreman, you can still make six figures.
Wow.
But the problem is, again, they don't advertise it. And with the federal government and stuff like that, like this bothers me a lot. Like my grandfather, my father, all did construction. And the thing is, I tried to get into construction, but I was actually pushed out of it, mainly because either I didn't speak a certain language or otherwise. And the thing is too, though, my father's a foreigner, but I mean, he's a white guy, but he's a foreigner too. But if you think, they're from Ireland. So like back in the 80s and stuff like that, it was a lot of Irish in that time. But I myself, whenever I tried to get work, they would not give me work. So eventually I got out of it. And what bothers me is that they sit there and say, well, Americans are too lazy to do this job. The thing is, too, if you think about it, 20, 30 years ago, if somebody needed extra work, like my mother, for example, she was able to go ahead and get a temporary job to clean a person's home or find empty apartments to clean. This was pretty prevalent, especially back in the 80s. You fat chance on that anymore. You can't do that. And then another thing, too, that bothers me a lot is that this has also shifted, not just from construction and doing jobs such as farming or anything else. It bothers me because they sit there and say, well, Americans are too lazy to do this. All right. And nowadays, instead of doing construction, which I'd tried putting my hand in many years and even something I grew up around, now I'm in tech, and and I've been in tech for a little while. Now the thing is, though, when they're now sitting there saying, well, now we don't, Americans are too stupid to do this job, or there's not enough people that can do the job, so they try to import people from India. They try to import. One time I worked for this one firm. I'm not going to say which one, where people were starting to complain about their pay, and so the CEOs and stuff like that wanted to have a meeting. So they rounded us all up. We had a meeting, and basically the CEOs came out and said, "Look, if you don't like it, we'll just go ahead and import more people from India." And
wow.
I've seen that. Needless to say, it made a lot of people very angry. It's not that we don't have the talent, and it's not that people are lazy. It's either that certain parts of the industry is either not making it available, or they're not advertising for it, or they're basically just trying to skirt the ways around certain rules or regulations. I can tell you right now, a lot of Americans, even like myself, if you really need it, you will do the job. And that's really what America is about. That right there is that, if you really need it, you do the job.
Right on.
So? Absolutely.
Well, thank you for the call, man.
There's I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, yeah. It's just that it's one of those misconceptions that really bothers me. That's like either Americans don't want to do the job, or they're too lazy to do the job, or they're not smart enough to do the job. And the truth be told, that's just not true.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No, thank you. And I love your show, by the way.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you for everything.
No problem.
Bye.
That's a great call. I think that there's a certain, how can I say, there is a vested interest in certain people to keep the industry among themselves, or, companies, they're trying to keep costs down and trying to be competitive and trying to skirt around some legalities, a little bit of everything going on. All right, let's go to, hold on. All right, I'm trying to get you guys on. Y'all hang tight, please. I got time for one last call, and I got like 25 calls on the line right now. Hold on. Y'all just hang tight. Okay. 856 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 856, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. What's going on?
Can I? Hello.
You're live on the show. Turn speakers off in the background for me, please. Talk to the phone.
Hey. Yes, I did. ABL.
What's going on?
To me. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for taking my call.
No problem.
I wanted to talk to you about something that nobody is talking about. The backup of the ships in the Pacific.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a serious problem, because there's a lot of goods and whatnot that need to get on shore at a certain point, but they're not. They're just kind of stuck out there in the water.
Well, I heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that Biden's plan was to just take all the crates off the ships and just put them in a thing, very similarly to what he's doing with the whole border crisis. We'll just hide it over here, and then it'll be, we'll hide it, and then it's fixed. But then 2 months later, it's a major crisis. It's worse than it is right now, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying, and I'm sorry, but that he's going to unload all these ships into a dock or something, but then they're gonna send the ships back to China, and then or Asia. Let me not just say China, but back over there,
right.
And they're gonna come back with full ships, and then it's just gonna be multiplied. The problem is multiplied. Exact same problem we're having at the southern border. We'll just get rid of these migrants and then we'll just have 1,000 more of them. It's the exact same stupid policies. Like, that's what I wanted to ask you about. How can we I don't know what you're trying to tell me, King. I'm sorry, my son is talking to me right now.
Okay.
And no, I'm saying, like, the problem, like, nobody's talking about what is happening with the shipping problems that are going on, that is going to cause so much, like, stock up, people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It's definitely a problem. It's definitely an issue that we got to be able to fix. I think one thing that they said was there's not enough drivers onshore to be able to get these things off the ship. Then there's all types of restrictions and whatnot. It's a real problem. I think it might just be a labor shortage onshore. That is a big reason that these things are happening. And if there's a lack of goods and whatnot, it's going to cause prices to go up, of course, which is going to just increase the inflation problem.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, why is nobody talking about the crisis at the Pacific shores? Like, nobody's talking about it. Like,
yeah, people are just kind of distracted, I suppose. They're distracted with other things. They're more worried about the Netflix and whatnot rather than some important things like that.
Yeah, of course. But, like, the media, of course, we know why they're not talking about it. You and I know why they're not talking about it, because they're covering for this. I wanted to put, like, what are those air quotes around the presidency? Like, this president is, you know what I mean? Like, right. He's not in charge, obviously. And there's somebody higher that is controlling things. I mean, I know you have a station to, you can't say things. I can say it, right?
Let's not, because people still the federal rallies are still on the line. Matter of fact, I have to actually kind of end the show, right?
I don't want to put you at risk.
Right.
And
yeah.
I'm trying to be very indiscreet with what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to hurt your platform.
No,
or anything
it's
that.
all right. But I have to end the call right now. Unfortunately, I'm at the end of my show. But thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, no problem. All right, shout out to the caller, and thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you couldn't get on right now, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Blame the white man, but you guys have been the best. I couldn't ask for better. Shout out to everybody that's been watching, that's followed, subscribed, retweeted, shared, emailed, super chatted, whatever you have done, PayPal. If you bought any kind of merchandise, if you bought any soaps or flags, thank you. I couldn't do it without y'all. Hey, shout out to y'all. All right. So we got some super chats on deck, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. Thank you to the moderators for doing what y'all do all the time. Couldn't do it without y'all. And we have supers, on deck, and then we'll get to it. Let me see. Shout out to D.A. Hobbs, the Hobbs9, who says, I'm honestly expecting IVM ingredients to silently be used in the, quote, new approved COOF treatment pill. And that's a little thinking emoji. God bless our veterans. Praying emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Paula today for your donation. Thank you to Tammy F., who says, I believe this flu fiasco is going to go on for the duration of this president's term. This is it. He has to, quote, rule by using a crisis. It was planned. Thank you to Rachel Lopez, hope I didn't tell your name up, boss, for the love emoji. I appreciate you. Thank you to Datslav at Man Carey, who says, hashtag keep fighting, build, get home bag. And remember that hashtag 9/17 is coming. Iran created the coronavirus in frame China, and there are 4 lights. Thank you to Pamela White. Thank you to DeHobbs9, who says, come on, man, why would Big Pharma give up government cash to allow IVM? More profit in the jab. God bless nurses. They are under attack and being fired. Exactly. They're talking about, oh, we don't want to overwhelm the system, blah, blah, blah. We got to have the mandate. But then the mandate is what's causing them to have a lack of staffing in hospitals. So what's really going on? Okay, I got 2 cousins that's nurses, and I hear things about the understaffing. So let's not, go down this weird road. Shout out to Bob K. MIT, who says most people have their minds set at age 25. That's why the liberals target the schools. Correct. Boom. Thank you to Mr. Just Because, who says Councilman Ebel, EBEL, is introducing the medical mandate for Free City Resolution, Carthage, Tennessee. ABL, please read resolution. Voting Thursday. Will do. Shout out to Liza Jean, who says, you are a warrior. Thank you so much from the north of the border. Every day they roll out more mandates, and I applaud it because it exposes desperation. Heart emoji, thank you for that. Thank you to Alice Cersei, who says, I went to college on Maui. Thanks for helping that guy out. I love that island. Well, no problem. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to JB, who says, hi, ABL. I just ordered soaps. Which one is your favorite and why? Thanks for all you and your sweet wife do to bring us the show each week. Thank you for that. Now, the one I have a few. I'm gonna pull them up right quick. I like the charcoal and ale. That's you know what I mean. That's one of the best ones. Charcoal and ale right there. Matter of fact, can I put them on the same? So yeah, charcoal and ale, oat milk and honey, cedar wood. These are the best ones. And if you want some of these soaps, go to the link in the description box. That's Mr1920.com, Mr. MISTER1920.com. Links in the box. Get you some real handmade American soaps. They're fantastic. You don't want to get that the Walmart nonsense. Get you some real soaps. You know what I mean? It'd be a good gift for anybody. So, or a good gift for yourself. So check them on out. All right, and I got some more supers. Let me get back to where I was. And let's go to Louise Smith, who says, hello, did you hear the story about the racial environmentalist Tracy Stone Manning? Biden just appointed her to oversee the, quote, Bureau of Land Management. Oh, my goodness. Really? So that's wow. Oh, in Montana, but not the whole federal. Okay. The authorities are beside themselves. An environmentalist that is in charge of the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management in Montana. How does that make any sense? That's like having a vegetarian in charge of beef exports. Like, what's really going on? Thank you to Joe Ryder 84, who says, do you think McAuliffe will lose due to his comments about parents can make decisions with their kids, like as far as how their kids get educated? I don't know, because Virginia, unfortunately, is a blue state now. So I can't tell if that's going to matter. I can't tell. So hopefully Glenn Youngkin, is his name Glenn Youngkin? I just want to make sure. Yeah, Glenn Youngkin. Hopefully Glenn Youngkin actually is able to have some success. I hope, man. You know, one thing about Glenn is that he's a conservative, obviously, and he's from Virginia, born in Richmond, went to Norfolk Academy. So he's from Virginia. Terry McAuliffe is from New York. He's from like Syracuse, New York, not even from Virginia at all. Went to college and decided to stay in Northern Virginia, became a swamp rat, and now wants to continue to be a swamp rat just across the river and rule from there. He'll have his office right there on the Potomac River and rule the entire Virginia from right there. That's his mind. Although the capital is in Richmond, but that's a different story. I digress. Thank you to Fasting is Life, who says YouTube censorship is life. All right. Thank y'all for that. Definitely appreciate you guys. I'm glad you are here. Hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. If you want to hear this as an audio only podcast, it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether they be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box. But that's a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.